Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. If you missed anything, I'm beating up the mic here to start the show. Just some of that microphone. Miss anything, go back, get caught up. All 3 hours posted upon the conclusion of the show, both to iTunes and our own Audio Vault Rate Review Share. Download the show on iTunes. On Twitter, it's at @JCameron Show, WTSM app. Good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers. Hello, Periscopers. Hope you're doing well. Tonight, well, we don't get baseball, but we get bailed out a little bit. The belt making it happen. Did you know this? The South Alabama-Troy game has a replica belt.
Oh, man. I thought Charlie Weiss was coaching somewhere.
Oh, the belt. Yeah, no, this is what we got. We got a game tonight, South Alabama and Troy. Is that right? That's tonight?
That would be tonight. Yes, I believe Troy is a 17 or a 17.5-point favorite, sir.
8 p.m. ESPN2, and they're playing for a replica WWE belt decked out in gold bling. It's been played for since 2015. The two schools are only 175 miles apart in southern Alabama. Each team has worn the belt home twice. This is for the tie break. Let's bring home the belt.
It's a best of 5 right here.
Yeah. Bad news for the rain out there. I wanted baseball. I was looking forward to baseball tonight. It doesn't happen because of inclement weather in New York. So the Yankees catch a break, I think, there because Tanaka gets a little extra time.
It's been good to watch the ALCS, except yesterday. Man, Fox had all kinds of technical issues with that broadcast. We had some of it on during the show and then after, but I mean, unbelievable. Every time they would cut from behind the usual play-by-play angle to a different camera, it would clip. You'd have audio clipping. The thing would black out, then come back. Come on, guys.
Get
what
it
are we
together.
Doing here? It's only the pennant series.
So, Tom, are you conflicted? What say you? I don't think you're probably overly concerned one way or the other, but you don't like the Cardinals, and I know you're no fan of D.C. because of the rivalry that has been developed between the Mets and the Nats.
Yeah, and Bob Carpenter, yes.
So that's where we're at, man. That's
I'm an Astros fan currently. That's what I am.
That's a toughie, too, because you can't get real boisterous for them. They just want it.
Oh, I would never be boisterous, but it's just the silent fist pump. Game's over. The Astros win. You go, okay, good job, guys.
Yeah,
good
anybody
job.
but the Yankees, of course. But I hate the Cardinals, so I did revel in Schadenfreude last night. Get you some of that non-competitive series. Nats just absolutely throttled the listless, impotent Cardinals.
I know it was impossible, but I'm just glad because one of them didn't make the postseason. I'm just glad it wasn't Boston Yankees and then Braves and Nationals. That would have been disastrous.
Ooh, that would have been a toughie.
Oh,
you would have really been beside yourself there. The Nationals have done what no team in franchise history has done before. After 50 years, 36 in Montreal as the Expos, 14 more in Washington, D.C. They have reached the World Series. No franchise had gone longer before appearing in its first World Series. With a 7-4 win against the Cardinals in Game 4 of the series last night, the Nats ended that streak. The rest of the list behind them looks like this. The franchises with the longest droughts before reaching the World Series. You ready for this? Longest droughts before reaching their first World Series was Expos/Nationals, 50 seasons from 1969 to 2018. And it's happened now. Senators/Rangers, 49 seasons. That was from 1961 to 2009.
Padres?
No. The next one's going to interest you, by the way. This one's going to blow you away. Because lest we forget, I think they're the only team. In fact, I know they are the only team now on the clock to have never reached the World Series.
Oh, God.
You got it? Come on. Little quiz out the box, Tom Lang.
I wasn't ready for the quiz out the box.
Let's go, T. Lizzie.
Crap.
This is the only team.
Seattle.
That's correct.
The Seattle Mariners.
That's right. They have never been to the World Series.
You're my witness. I didn't look anywhere.
No, you didn't.
Only inside.
No,
I looked within.
Deep down. Under the gun. The Seattle Mariners have never been to the World Series. They started play in Seattle in 1977. 43 seasons have passed, and they have never gone to the World Series. They last made the playoffs in 2001. They're on an 18-year postseason hiatus. In addition to their ongoing 43-year-old World Series appearance drought, you get almost 2 decades worth of sitting at home watching the playoffs. That'll hurt your feelings. I mean, hell, the Pirates have been 3 times since then. That's nuts. Seattle has made the playoffs 4 times total in franchise history. And lest we forget, and I remember it well. In fact, I can remember what I was doing and thinking when it happened. The 2001 Seattle Mariners, led by Lou Piniella, 116 wins. Can you imagine? That is just brutal. Can you imagine winning 116 games in the regular season and then getting bounced in the playoffs? Not even getting to the World Series. Like, if you get to the World Series and lose, then you go, at least we got to the World Series. And now we can check that off the ledger. No, 116 wins. They get beat by the White Sox. That's just nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy to me that was their 0-1 season.
Mm-hmm.
That's just hard because it's hard for me to wrap my mind around because Randy Johnson is on the 0-1 champion Diamondbacks.
D-backs.
And so
Right.
you always think of Randy Johnson when you think of late 90s, early 2000s era Seattle Mariners baseball. So that's tough for me to wrap my mind around all these years later.
Yeah, well, I think of King Griffey Jr. and Buhner and all those guys. Yeah, I mean they
Edgar
were,
Martinez.
Oh man, sweetest right-handed swing in history. Like, you just don't ever say that about right-handed hitting. Always about left-handed hitting.
Freddie Garcia was on that team.
Oh man, Freddie's woman was gorgeous too. By the way, I sat next to Freddie Garcia in the World Series, watched the Marlins, and he sat to my left, over the shoulder, with a stunning. I mean, it was ridiculous. I had to grab myself by the top of the head and say, "Stop turning around! You look ridiculous."
Aaron Seeley, Jamie Moyer,
Aaron
Paul
Seeley.
Abbott,
Ooh.
John Halama. That was the rotation.
John Halama. It's just fun to say.
Kaz Sasaki was their closer.
Yeah.
And Sasaki had 45 saves and 52 attempts that season. That's a lot of blown saves for a 116-win ball club, by the way.
Yeah, think of that. Could have won 120 games and not gone to the World Series. Yes.
Old John Olerud at first base.
John Olerud.
Brett Boone's 37 home runs.
What a fraud.
Mike Cameron hit 25 home runs for that team.
I think that was legit, yeah.
He was a really good center fielder.
I think he had 4 home runs in one game.
We had the greatest.
He's on the list.
When he came to the Mets, it was Beltran and Cameron playing the outfield.
Loved him.
They were both so good, they butted heads
Yeah.
in San Diego.
Yeah.
Mike Cameron never was the same. That was that.
Brutal.
Just like the end of their 2001 season.
Anyhow, the Mariners, there's your trivia question for the day, everybody. They have never been to the World Series, let alone win it. So think about it. You're a Seattle fan, and you're like, the freaking Rays have been to the World Series, and we can't get there.
Yes, they have. The Rays have been there.
They have been there.
We saw that.
In fact, all of the other teams in Major League Baseball have been there. It's just you that have not.
How did they win? I'm just looking at these numbers. This team wasn't that impressive.
Oh, but numbers were different back then, though.
They were
different. You gotta remember
not just home
the time.
runs. I'm just looking at ERA and strikeouts. But yeah, people didn't want to strike out.
Well,
back in
they
those
were
days.
actually built to win series. They were built to win series, regular season series, because their 3-starter and 4-starter were better than your 3-starter and 4-starter, and they would win series after series after series. And then they got to the postseason, and yeeks.
How about this? Freddie Garcia, over the course of his long and he was an 18-game winner in 2001. He had 34 starts. He pitched 238 and 2/3 innings. That's averaging just barely over 7 innings per start. Would be unheard of good these days.
Yeah, that was the time where you valued starters going deep. But you're currently seeing the Astros in the age of bullpens saying, "Screw your formula. We're going to take a bunch of guys that can pitch deep into games and dominate, and we'll roll on Big River." By the way, so are the Nats. Their big 3 are guys they expect to go 7. Those guys,
they're hosses now.
Those are some guys, are some dealers.
I mean, if I'm a Nats fan and I'm getting a big effort from Anibal Sanchez, I'm living right, man.
Well, that's when you know the sweep's coming.
Yeah.
Anibal Sanchez just rolled out here and dominated. We're in good shape.
He's throwing over 7 innings and no-hit ball. What are we doing here?
So think about Anibal Sanchez, who could, if at some point he were to be seated next to Clayton Kershaw, say, hey, check my postseason resume, Clayton, because it's not the first time that Anibal Sanchez has gone out and dominated in the postseason. This is the second such game where he's gone out and absolutely dealt near no-hitter stuff. I'm a gamer in the postseason, Clayton. You've got these regular seasons down, buddy.
What would you say you do here?
I know. That's somewhat unfair. Somewhat. Unfair.
Well, Strasburg has no problem in October.
No, Strasburg is, man, well, what a season for that guy. He's about to get paid. That's an interesting equation there. There are a couple guys about to get really paid. Warrick Cole's going to make $400 million. It's like insane to think about what he's going to make. Seriously, throw that number out there. He's going to make a lot of money. Probably will go back to Los Angeles from California, so the Dodgers would be wise to snatch him up.
Or the Angels and Joe Madden.
Well, that would be smart, yes. Well, really anybody would be smart to grab him because he's just a tour de force right now. But if you think about what he's going to get paid, Strasburg can opt out. He's in an opt-out year, so he can walk. And what would he get on the open market?
Let me pull up his numbers.
Oh, well, he's been fantastic. And this year, he was sensational. And I think the fear with him, of course, has been, whether with relative health. But he's really
he's post Tommy John. He's fine now.
Yeah, but he's dealing. He is really good.
So 209 innings this year. He made 33 starts and 250 strikeouts. Again, strikeouts are up in this day and age. But it's a 3.32 ERA that trended really healthy by the back half of the season.
Oh,
he was untouchable in the second half.
He was great. Go look up the ERA independent. Go look up and see what I bet he could have been better. I think he got a little unlucky.
What is that, FIP or is that ERA plus? Yeah, his ERA plus is 138. I have no idea what that means. Matthew could explain that to me.
It'll be boring for us to do it now, Tom. We'll do it during
K per 9 of 10.8 though. Holy crap! So Strasburg since 2014 has averaged over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Yeah, he's really good, Tom.
10.6 for his career.
He's got filthy stuff. I mean, he does. When you watch, it's like you actually, back in the day before he had the Tommy John, when you'd watch him, you'd go, he's going to have Tommy John. Arms aren't supposed to bend that way. He had that W thing going. And it was crazy, So
in 7 career appearances in the postseason, 6 career starts, Strasburg is 4-2, wins and losses, whatever, with a 1.10 ERA and a WHIP of 0.90. That's crazy. 57 strikeouts to 5 walks.
I feel like we're watching, in the first segment of today's show, Tom realized that Steven Strasburg's a good player.
No, I knew it was dominant. I knew his postseason numbers were insane.
Right.
But then when you actually read them to see how insane they are.
Yeah. You're like, well.
A 1.10 in 6 starts, 7 appearances.
Whole bunch of get you some.
57 strikeouts to 5 walks.
Whole bunch of get you some.
Jesus.
Now go look up Warrick Cole's last 24 games. It's unbelievable. Starts.
I know that from
dumbest,
probables.
It's just the dumbest damn thing in the world.
I know that from probables. I get a 5-day update on that dude from you.
It's just driving me nuts. He's freaking Cy Young.
Yeah. So his last season with Pittsburgh, he pitched to a 4.26.
Of course he did. He was ass in Pittsburgh, Tom. I watched him. He was a fake ace.
And so in 2018, his first year in Houston, he pitched to a 288.
Oh, yeah. And now he's it's unbelievable.
This year to a 250. 326 strikeouts.
Oh, geez.
Against 48 walks.
He had 73 consecutive innings with a strikeout, shattering the previous record. It is unbelievable.
He is quite good in the postseason, but not nearly as good as Steven Strasburg. In 8 career starts, he's got a 2.26 ERA, paltry compared to the 1.10.
Well, but hold on. That was all of those prior to this year were in Pittsburgh, or last year were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's got 4 starts for the Astros in the postseason.
Yeah. And by the way, those numbers continue to improve. I mean, his last 2 starts are just throwing it on the table.
He had 1 forgettable start for the Astros in the postseason. It was against the Red Sox last year in the American League Championship Series. He went 6 innings, but he gave up 5 runs, 4 earned in those 6 innings.
Florida State is going to beat Wake Forest on Saturday, Tom. I'm going to throw that out there for you because it's really important that we do so. It's really important that they show up, play well, and get a win.
So you feel that in your heart, or you're saying because they have to? No,
I feel it in my heart. I gave you the update all of last week. Some people thought it was a little bit it was steeped in negativity. And I said, well, I can't come on the air and lie to you. I can't come on here and tell you that I think we're going to win when I don't. And I can't come on here and tell you that I think we're going to keep it close when I don't. So in order to keep it on the up and up, I'm going to give you my midweek gauge, the gut check, if you will, on a Balls McWednesday. And my gut's telling me good things. It's telling me Florida State's going to show up. They're going to play well. We're going to bounce back from that disgusting, thorough beatdown at the hands of Clemson and get a win.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Yeah, get the bad taste out of your mouth and roll on Big River. Because you win that game, then you're going to come home, and Syracuse doesn't want any of this. Syracuse doesn't want a piece of this. So come on down.
Bend over.
That's right. Get you some, Syracuse. So then all of a sudden, that's a 2-game winning streak, and you welcome in the Canes. And you do so by extending both middle fingers. And Miami comes to town, and then you beat Miami.
Bend over.
And you're on a 3-game winning streak, and all of a sudden there's real momentum when we hop on the bird to go up to Boston. And we say, all right, let's do it.
Hop on the bird?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're going to hop on the bird and fly to Boston. I'm going to take my kids. We're going to stroll around Boston, give them a little history lesson, take it over there to Alumni Stadium, see that boring-ass atmosphere at BC, their backup quarterback and no defense. Roll on Big River.
Bend over.
Yeah, now we're on a 4-game win streak. And then guess what? Alabama State doesn't want any of this. Roll on in. That's a 5-game winning streak.
Bend over.
Oh! Saturday is significant because it starts a 5-game winning streak for Florida State. That's what Saturday does. Now, there is the possibility that I'm wrong. And that would be a shame. That would be a shame. So let's not even entertain it. Let's just count on the fact that I'm usually right. Resoundingly so, just like I was last weekend. So let's just go with that. All right? Feel better. Driving down the road, go, Cameron's usually right. And now he says we're going to beat Wake Forest and go on a 5-game winning streak. I believe him. I believe Jeff. That's what we should all be doing. We'll put that into the atmosphere, Tom.
So I guess it came down via snail mail, but I received some audio clips of what Trevor Lawrence had to say to the Noles defense on Saturday.
Did you?
It's actually wired for sound. Would you like to hear it?
I would. I'd love to hear it.
For all you southern swamp sows, to keep the noise down while I take my robe off and give your ladies a glimpse of my simply ravishing body. Hit the music.
Any excuse. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Now, just call 850-942-4653. Southwood Golf Club is ready to make you a member. 850-942-4653.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you're a fan of an action-packed environment, the Corner Pocket is the place to be. Happy hour specials every day, including all day on Sundays, with sports in HD everywhere you look. For location hours and menu, head to cptallybar.com. Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan.
My friends that sell Camrys and Accords may wish that a black cat had walked in front of them this Halloween season, because in comparing Altima with Camry, Auto Trader says buyers looking for value will likely prefer the Altima. That's right, the respectable auto site says Altima is a better value than Camry. Come see for yourself. And this Nissan town is growing. Put a Nissan in your driveway too. Come in this week and you can get 0% financing on most models like Sentra, Rogue Sport, and Titan trucks. That's free money, literally. Or get over $4,000 off Maxima and up to $5,000 off Rogue. And get this, up to $10,000 off select Titan trucks. You will not find these deals anywhere else. As a sales volume leader, Kraft is treated to incentives that other dealers may not get. So come treat yourself to savings, not tricks. And in October, as always, buy a car without the Kraft tag on it, and you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
Experience Tallahassee's largest Oktoberfest celebration at the Pavilion in the center of Tallahassee on Friday, October 18th. Spend the night out with friends in a beer garden featuring festive beers and wines with unlimited refills, and enjoy traditional food and desserts while testing your skills in the interactive game station. All proceeds support local seniors with elder care services. Purchase tickets at the Pavilion box office or online at eldercarebigbend.org.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the social agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Come in today for a 3 Chicken Supremes dinner for just $4.99. Each Chicken Supremes dinner comes with 3 of our bold, craveable chicken tenders, your choice of fixin', and a fresh buttery biscuit. Plus, you'll get a free legendary iced tea. For a limited time, get Bojangles 3 Chicken Supremes dinner with your choice of fixin' and a biscuit for just $4.99. And don't forget that free iced tea. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Knowles doing the war chant. Now is your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Knowles welcome in Syracuse on October 26th for homecoming, and then Miami on November 2nd. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports.
Get your tickets by calling 888-FSU-KNOLL to see Florida State football take on Syracuse and Miami.
Or visit Seminoles.com today.
Come on, pick me!
Yoo-hoo! Pick me, pick me!
No, pick me!
Take your pick with the Florida Lottery Pick Daily Games. With Pick 2, Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5, you could win top prizes from $50 to $50,000. And you have 2 chances to win every day. The Pick Daily Games from the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy Ballsmic Wednesday, everybody. Yay, Ballsmic Wednesday. I'm just taking a cursory glance here real quick for the Thursday night football game. Chiefs-Broncos. What if the Chiefs are going to fix their problems? They got problems.
That's what that is. That's a probing game, right?
Mm-hmm. That's Broncos +3 is what that is, Tom.
Sneak peek?
It's a little sneak peek. By the way, the Chiefs are an interesting kind of guide for us. Not that we have somebody with the capacity to light up a scoreboard the way that Patrick Mahomes does, but they don't play complementary football in Kansas City. They know one speed, and thus they get that time of possession thing flipped on them on the regular. For example, this past weekend against Houston, whom they lost to, they had to play 40 minutes of defense in a 60-minute game. That'll hurt your feelings.
Especially when Deshaun Watson's the quarterback, and so even if you get a nice initial rush, he can make that miss, and you're completely gassed.
Well, and especially when you can't stop the run. So your defense is getting emasculated time and again. They're on the field forever. You're right. You're getting tired. You're not stopping the run at the point of attack, so play action's in play. And then if you do get a pass rush, obviously that guy can make you miss and run all over the field. So you had real problems there. That score was not indicative of the way the game was played. Houston was just better than Kansas City. Houston, outside Super Bowl contender. That's a really good football team. It's kind of an interesting team.
I have a hard time trusting any team from the AFC South, and I get that Jacksonville was on the precipice of going to the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago, but that division just seems to feature some of the most hot and cold play.
Well, this will be a big game. Speaking of the Texans, they go on the road against the Colts. That's an interesting game.
It's a good game.
Oh, yeah, man. We got some really fascinating games this weekend, I think. Jalen Ramsey has been traded to the Rams, and I was listening to and reading about that trade because I wanted to, we got to see this Rams defense not cover anybody. And we watched Jameis light him up, record-setting afternoon, and it's fascinating that team plays a lot of zone. And Jalen played a lot of zone in Jacksonville, but capable of playing man.
Yes, that's what he wants to play, too.
Yeah, that's what he wants to play. But, you have complementary corners as well, and it's a matter of whether or not those guys can do what you need them to do. You can't have a guy on an island and everybody else playing a different coverage. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they utilize him, obviously. Jalen's is a great player. I mean, there's just no getting around that. But the Rams are in dire straits. They have a real problem on their hands, and I could not believe the staggering numbers of turnovers that I saw. We're all well aware of how bad James has been at protecting the football because every broadcast talks about it, whether he has a turnover the previous week or not. But he certainly fuels the fire by having games like he had this past Sunday. But Jared Goff has turned it over. This is startling. 26 times in his last 12 games. That's correct. I didn't misspeak. He has 13 interceptions and 13 fumbles in his last 26 games.
That's an absurd number.
Oh, my God. It should be the lead on the nightly news. Who the hell? That is insane.
The problem, too, is that, you get Ramsey in the fold on defense there. You got a long-term issue and a short-term issue. The short-term issue is you traded Peters away, of course, in order to make room for Ramsey. He goes out to Baltimore. That's close to where he played ball, I think, earlier in his career. But you have to play corner on the other side, and Aqib Talib is on injured reserve. He can come back and play towards the end of the season / the playoffs. But, if Ramsey's going to lock somebody down, what else do you do the rest of the scheme? Mm-hmm. He helps, but it doesn't solve all of your ills, and that's a short-term problem. The long-term problem is you give up 2 first-round draft picks for Jalen Ramsey, and so now he already was going to have leverage with, the numbers and the tape that says he's the number 1 cornerback in the game going into his final year of his contract. Now that you've given up 2 first-round draft picks for him, you have to sign him. So you as an organization don't even have any leverage that the Jags did to negotiate a second contract.
Well, and in addition, they've got salary cap issues because they did have to pay Aaron Donald, which was right. They should have paid him, and they did, and that was the right move. But they didn't have to pay Todd Gurley an insane contract, and they did, and he shot. His knees are gone. I don't think he's ever going to be the player that he was. That's a shame because I like watching him play, and he's a real good football player, but he's not the same football player, and they keep trying to give him the ball, and it's useless. They need to move on. Their game is completely stalled, the run game, that is. So you've invested a ton in him, and then you gave all that money to the aforementioned turnover machine that is Jared Goff. I don't know. It's odd. It's just odd. They've invested in areas that I think is going to handcuff them moving forward, and they're 3-3, and they really, Goff last week was terrible. That was Mariota-esque in terms of just those feeble sort of numbers that you see associated with refusing to get the ball downfield, less than 100 yards passing. What are we doing? It's the NFL where everybody passes for a minimum of 200 yards every week because the rules allow for it.
Yeah, I think the rule in general for quarterback play and evaluating it as an analyst or just a fan would be hold the phone. Just wait. Just wait. Because unless you're Mahomes, which I think we can safely assume that he's going to be in this other class for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar Jackson's going to have a good month. He's going to have a terrible month. Baker Mayfield, good month, terrible month. Or alternating games on and off.
I don't know if he's going to have a good month. Yeah.
I think they'll bounce back. But, I mean, this is what we're doing, though. Jared Goff was terrible, then he was, great, and he deserves a second contract, and now what exactly do we have here? Deshaun Watson's done the same thing. I think Deshaun might be graduating to a different stratosphere, but maybe not. Maybe that's Nuke Hopkins effect. I don't know.
I think Deshaun is trustworthy. I do. I believe it. I believe in what I see with him.
Andrew Luck was the same way, where, you're like, man, look at that. They get so lucky they win 2 games with Peyton Manning going down, and they have the answer. And then it was,
I think he would have been and was for long stretches at a time. He also suffered from a ton of injuries. Their team was bad, too. I think he was the real deal. I think he would have gone on to have a great career if he hadn't just been so damn beat up. But I get your point. I know it does matter. Yeah, I mean, but you can't predict injury luck. I mean, Deshaun strikes me as a guy. Now, if you're perpetually hurt,
what quarterback hits though? That matters greatly, and somehow it's not brought up in the discussion when we're talking about how good a player is. Deshaun's getting hit a bunch. Dak got hit a bunch last year, and Andrew Luck was hit his whole career until they got Quentin Nelson. I think it wasn't a coincidence that he got a little bit better once they found a good guard who can anchor that line.
It really would be nice to have seen Quentin Nelson in Tampa Bay. I just don't know how many times I have to say it, but I think it every freaking day.
It's not a coincidence that in 2016, Dak Prescott was the toast of the league with that offensive line. Derek Carr was out in Oakland because they had the second best offensive line that year. So there are peaks or valleys, and they're going to be stark, the both of them.
Yeah. Well, but the one thing you do find, though, is that, look at year one to where we are now with Russell Wilson. He's been good every year. Mm-hmm. And he came in the league being good.
He's the exception, though.
No, but I'm saying the elite franchise quarterbacks kind of make it known pretty quickly. It's why we're so sad about what's going on in Tampa is that there's a sense now that maybe we're going to have to move on because, he is capable of putting up great numbers for 3 and 4 weeks at a time. We've seen Jameis do that, and that's what's so tantalizing. He dangles the carrot. You see it. You go, okay, that's top-end quarterback play. And then when he's bad, he's really bad. He's really bad. And so you go, God, there's going to be 3 or 4 games every year where he just doesn't give us a chance to win, and I don't know that I can franchise that guy. If he's going to be that, which at this point in his career is what he is. He's really good and really bad. Yeah, he's just, he's upper echelon and then horrible. So it's like there's no middling with him, which is weird. Meanwhile, Mariota has just shrunk. That's why he's headed to the bench now. They announced that Tannehill's going to start. I don't know what happened with him. I don't know if it's post-injury. Did he just become this different guy? He was never elite, but we thought we saw something that you could build on, and that's all gone away now. He's a dink-and-dunk guy. He doesn't make passes down the field. He doesn't hit open receivers, and his ass will be on the bench. So not a good look for 2015's top 2 picks.
We had this. Well, no, it's not. No,
not a good look.
We had this discussion. I think it was last week. That do we have to stamp something as true or false every single week?
No, of course not.
I'm just thinking about in the last 10 years or so. You have the Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco debate, and both of those the guys have burned really bright, and both have been pretty bad too, with a lot of mediocre in between. When Russell Wilson first emerged, you had Kaepernick and RG3, and everybody said, there's a new way to play quarterback in the NFL. Variety is here. They may have been a few years ahead of themselves because now guys like Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes are there, but certainly RG3 was not a part of the equation, and neither was Kaepernick after a couple of seasons. Russell Wilson, the exception to the rule. But Dalton was considered to be a pretty good quarterback for about a year or two there. They said, all right, Cincinnati, they got their guy. I think most dudes are just going to rise up and have some good years and some bad years.
Yeah, the truth is the outlier that is Tom Brady or the outlier that would be Aaron Rodgers, right? Those guys don't come down the pike, and we're terrible at evaluating quarterbacks. Like the pros, the analysts, the top of the top 1% in that business that is paid, in some cases well over $1 million a year, don't know what they're looking at.
Well, we were sure that Oakland had its guy in Carr, and they were like, oh, man, they might need last year. Let's jettison him because it's clear that Chucky doesn't want him there, the way he's calling the game, the way he's building that franchise. And now they're somewhere in between. It's just that it's a year-to-year league, too, I think, when it comes to quarterback evals. I wouldn't just marry myself to a certain guy and say, there he is. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback for 10 years. There's just too much evidence to say different types of guys go up, and then they come back down to earth.
Yeah, and we're real quick to crown guys as being the next great thing, and we're real quick to dismiss guys who struggle as not having a chance in hell of being good. You're right; those extremes exist in the media. They exist amongst fan bases. They exist as fantasy football has taken hold of the way that people view football, and of course the 24-hour news cycle. So I get all of that, but even if you're more reserved and you're sort of kind of all right, we'll see. There are certain factors that you want to see, both in the locker room. That's where it helps to be a part of a franchise, so you can see how a player is received as a leader or not.
Yeah.
One of the big problems they had in Tennessee was that as good a guy, and they trip over themselves to try to tell you this every chance they get, as good a guy as Mariota seems to be, and I don't doubt that he is, he doesn't say a word. He's not a leader. Nobody's following him anywhere because he's just standing there with a mopey look on his face doing nothing. He's a mouse. And that matters when you're trying to, and now listen, that doesn't mean he can't play at all, but, I mean, that was a strike against him.
Well, and
Jameis was immature.
And Jameis was immature, verbose, but that's not leadership.
No, right. So what I'm saying is two very different dudes that right now are in real trouble of at least having to move on from their current teams. The other part of this that drives me nuts, and it always has, and there are exceptions, and Tom Brady is one clearly, but it really does matter the organization you're drafted by. And if it's a poorly run organization and you've got to go through 4 different offensive coordinators in 6 years, you're really not set up to succeed. If you can't block and you don't run and your GM's a dumbass and you take a kicker.
Oh, you're talking about Tampa.
Then, you're really, they share the, burden there. It's frustrating. But I've often wondered, and we all have, I mean, we've seen guys come into the league where you go, that skill set plays, man, that arm plays, he's intelligent, had a great college career, got a lot of reps, say he was a starter for 3 years, and then he goes to an organization that has been poorly run for 2 decades and gets the hell beat out of him. And within 5 years, you're like, career backup. Well, he's seeing ghosts now because he's done. Had he gone to the right organization, obviously, it worked out perfect for a guy like Ben Roethlisberger to go to the Steelers, where they play great defense and run the football. In his first 2 years, they ask him to throw the ball 16 times a game. He gets to get acclimated. How do you evaluate that coming out of college?
I just think it's funny that you could look at the 32 franchises. I'd argue 20 to 25 of them. You could look at their quarterback situation and say, I've had 2 different opinions about this guy in the last 10 years.
Maybe. Oh, I'll do it during the break. I'm kind of curious about that.
Now that you realize the prize arrived, we got
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Developing story, Joe Madden reuniting with the Angels, agreed to a 3-year deal to become the team's new manager. Madden spent the first 31 years of his baseball career with the Angels organization. Game 4 of tonight's matchup of the American League Championship Series between the Astros and Yankees postponed, expected inclement weather in New York. The Yankees will start Masahiro Tanaka against Houston's Zach Greinke in Game 4 tomorrow. Astros will go with Justin Verlander in Game 5 Friday, and Yankees skipper Aaron Boone says he'll likely start James Paxton in that one. NFL, ESPN's Lindsey Thiry reporting the Rams expect newly acquired corner Jalen Ramsey to pass a physical and be available to play Sunday in Atlanta. Not only will Ramsey make the defense better, he could actually help the struggling Rams offense too, says ESPN's Marcus Spears.
He creates a lot for Wade Phillips in this defense. He immediately makes this team better, and I know everybody is out on this offense. The offensive line is struggling. Jared Goff. Jalen Ramsey will steal you a possession or 2 a game. He'll get your offense the ball back, and in turn create more opportunities for a struggling offense to have some success.
Dolphins and Titans making changes at quarterback. Miami starts Ryan Fitzpatrick in place of Josh Rosen Sunday against Buffalo. Tennessee benching Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill against the Chargers Sunday. Today, marking a second straight day, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield isn't practicing because of a hip injury. Coach Freddie Kitchens, though, has said there's no doubt Mayfield will play the next game, October 27th against the Patriots. Cleveland has a bye this week. According to Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, Mason Rudolph will be the team's starting quarterback once he returns from the concussion protocol. Pittsburgh is on a bye this week.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all-day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Your next haircut now has a shortcut. Introducing the Sport Clips Haircuts app. That's right, now the cut you want is just a tap away. Just download the app, check in at your neighborhood Sport Clips, and choose your Guy Smart stylist, and you're done. We'll text you when your stylist is almost ready. Then head to Sport Clips for a championship haircut experience. It's home field advantage for your hair. No appointment needed. Just download the Sport Clips app and check in. And don't forget a beard trim. Sport Clips. You choose the cut, we cut the weight.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new arrivals from Cleveland Golf. Turbocharge your game with the new Cleveland Launcher HB Turbo Driver that delivers more speed for higher, longer, and straighter drives. And the Launcher HB Turbo Irons, which deliver maximum forgiveness, higher trajectory, and increased ball speed for more accurate and longer shots. And the Launcher UHX Irons deliver the perfect blend of distance and accuracy. Let us help you get custom fit for free today at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required, ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix. Personal styling for everybody.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
At me, Tom, I see you out there 23 minutes ago. I don't believe you, is what he tweeted. In regards to us going on the road and beating Wake Forest this weekend. I think that's where that tweet originated. And it's this one. It's one of my favorites.
Yes.
I don't believe you.
That's in regards to starting that 5-game winning streak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not in. He's not buying it.
I can understand that.
No, sure. Just because I'm right doesn't mean that you have to go along for the ride and just assume it to be true. I know it's true. That's all that matters.
You know that this is the first of 5 in a row.
That's right.
A month plus a winning.
Oh, this is the beginning of the fun part of the season. A string of wins. Stockpiling wins, buddy. There's one. I'm going to put this win over here in my back pocket. There's another win. Oh, I'll put it over here on my left side and balance out my wins. What am I going to do with that third one? Put it in my sock. All right, so there is also this question. I'm going to get back to the quarterbacks in a moment because this is a fun exercise. At Jay Cameron Show, would you rather have beaten Boise and Virginia? Yes. Would you rather have beaten Boise and Virginia and been exposed as a total fraud on Saturday, or play the season out as is and have a reason to tell Barnett to take it to the next town over? Well, yeah, I would have rather won those games against Boise and Virginia because I already knew that we were not elite. Even if we had garnered those wins, I would have been under no illusion that we were going on the road to beat Clemson or to even keep it all that close. I just think that the rest of the ACC has emerged as not very good. So we would have been beating average teams. Boise, I know, is not in the ACC, but I think they're an average team, Boise is. From a talent standpoint. From a talent standpoint, they don't match up against, Ohio State or Alabama or Oklahoma or even Texas. I mean, hell, they don't. So, yeah, they're not an elite team.
Yeah, I'll take any win I can get.
Yeah, hell yeah, you would.
Because I'm selfish, and then also because I'd like to be able to spin it to 17 and 18-year-olds that we're turning this thing around.
Number one thing is it wouldn't matter if it was fool's gold. It wouldn't matter if you were living a lie. Miami's been living a lie for years. Every other year they get off to some 4-0 start, 5-0 start, and we're like, yeah, you kind of suck, though. Let's admit it. It's like when McElwain's at Florida winning 10 games in the East. You're like, you guys suck. We can see.
We'll see you in November.
Yeah, we're watching. We're looking at the games. You suck.
East champions, right?
Yeah.
And we beat your ass by 10 to 20 every year minimum.
Yeah. Well, we would watch the games. You can see it. You're like, they're not any good. Yeah. It's just that the rest of the East is garbage. Well, for a time there. That's true right now in the ACC. Clemson is good. They proved that on the field each of the last however many years, 5. But we're not real good, and apparently neither is this conference. I mean, right now, who are you championing once you're done championing Clemson? So, yeah, I would have taken those wins because I wouldn't have been under this guise of, we're good. We're going to go keep it close to Clemson.
I'd go with the television negotiators. That's who I'd champion.
Well, we're losing big time in that.
Hangar 38 will have the game on Saturday.
You're
though.
damn right.
So that's the good news.
And you're going to want to be there to start said winning streak of 5. All righty. And, yes, I would like to tell Barnett to take a hike. Nice man.
I think we would have anyway.
Yeah. Nice man. Good luck to you.
Even
take it on down the road.
Even with those wins, I have a feeling that if Willie had a choice, at any point in the last year and a half, I think he would have.
Are you ready to rapid fire this thing?
Uh-oh.
This is you and me going through each of the quarterbacks that you said we've probably had, multiple opinions on in their stretch, right? And I don't think you're necessarily wrong, Tom. I think during the break I looked at it and thought, he might be right on this one.
20 might be a little heavy, but it's got to be at least half the league,
I
right?
You said 25.
I said 20 to 25.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Kyler Murray, I don't think he can play. I haven't changed my opinion.
Nope.
Matt Ryan, yes, we have changed our opinion. Up and down. Up and down. Lamar Jackson, I don't think he can play.
Yeah, but the world is okay. Are we going with our opinion?
No, it's our opinion. I don't care about what the world wants. It's what you and I are doing here. I don't think Lamar can play. He's never going to be an elite quarterback.
Better than I thought, but
no. Better than I thought is a fair thing to say.
All right.
Josh Allen. Ooh, that's a toughie.
I don't know what the hell he is.
Too soon.
We thought he sucked. Like we agreed with Sassy that he had no chance.
He might not. He may not be very good.
I'd put that down though.
I don't count that as having two different opinions. We don't have two different opinions about him. We haven't at any point said he's good. Oh, no, he's bad.
I would score it that we've said there's no way he's good, and now it's he might be serviceable.
Serviceable is not good, Tom.
Okay.
Serviceable
is
different
opinion than saying he's got no chance versus I'm not sure.
I don't think he has a chance. I'm still right about this.
Okay, you're sticking with that.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, now, we didn't know this guy because he was freaking undrafted. Kyle Allen. So, sure, I'd ever thought about Kyle Allen, not once in my life.
Yeah, but if you're going with the Panthers, Cam, as a franchise,
Cam,
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, we've definitely had different opinions about Chase Daniel, whatever, he was undrafted as well.
Where's
Mitchell
that?
Trubisky, the same team, the Bears.
Oh, okay.
So Mitchell Trubisky.
Definitely. Last year, towards the end of the season, we were saying, he might have this figured out. We did change.
I don't know about that. I've not been a big Mitchell Trubisky guy.
You were a fan when you saw him in person. You said, it looks like he's figured that offense out. That offense is fun.
Yeah.
I was here.
I'm not sure. I think that he was having more success than maybe I thought he could. I didn't think he was going to be elite. Anyhow, all right. Andy Dalton. Did we ever claim he was good? Now, we didn't say he was bad because he's not. He is what he is. An average-ass starting quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's what he is, right? He's an average-ass starting quarterback.
Who's got a real big clunker in him at any given moment.
Yeah, but because he's average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there are times where you go, wow, look at Andy Dalton
I don't think we ever thought he was good. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, we've already kind of been up and down with him. Yeah,
definitely.
Dak Prescott, up and down with him
Definitely.
as well. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Joe Flacco, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford, definitely. Aaron Rodgers, he's always just been good.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, he's just always been good. There you go. So you can't put him down in that category.
I didn't.
All right. Deshaun Watson.
Yep, up and down.
Up and down.
100%.
Oh, here's one for sure. Jacoby Brissett.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know that I ever thought he was going to be good.
Yeah, but against expectations this year, that's a revelation.
Yeah, but does he go in the category? Because we never talked about him. We never thought. We were just kind of like, eh.
Well, you're ready to label a guy that he's no good, and then you're like, well, shoot, I got to doubt myself now.
I guess. Gardner Minshew. Too soon.
The world already has, though. That's
not
the
us.
football level
That's
world.
not us. That's
All right,
not
well,
us.
The world would be 25 of these. We're not going to be.
No. Patrick Mahomes. Well, we didn't think he could play coming out of college.
Yeah.
But he is clearly a superstar, and we haven't really had to waver on that. We've been like, wow, look
Gold
at that.
Wingo had a promo saying it was dumb to get rid of Alex Smith, so,
That's
the
again.
world.
That's
The
Gold
world.
Wingo. That's not you and me. Phillip Rivers. We liked him always, still do. It's not up and down with him. We always liked him. Jared Goff, yes,
Yep.
Tom.
Oh,
up and
God.
down.
He should count for 2.
Josh Rosen, yes.
Yep.
I don't think it's fair, though. He hasn't been anywhere.
Incomplete, but still.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
What are the Dolphins doing? They want another quarterback, so they went and got the first round pick. It makes no sense.
Kirk Cousins, yes, up and down.
Yep.
We never wavered on Tom Brady, obviously. From day one, he's been good once he got in the lineup.
What order are you going in, out of
We're
curiosity?
just going straight down. It's
it's like stats order?
No, it's alphabetical.
Oh, okay.
I mean, by team.
Right.
Not by player.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, so Tom Brady, he didn't go in the category. Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. Definitely.
Daniel Jones, too soon. Sam Darnold, too soon. Derek Carr, yes, up and down.
100%.
Carson Wentz, yes.
Yeah, or even Foles. I count Foles among them because he surprised us to win a Super Bowl.
He did, but we never had an opinion on Nick Foles. It's not like we were arguing over Nick Foles being good and then bad and then good. We never wavered, is what I'm saying. You got to count the wavering.
So you're saying the first opinion was, wow, he's really good in that system? First opinion was, oh, they're screwed.
The first opinion was, we're like, well, they got to go to freaking Nick Foles. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, he was good. Look at Nick Foles. But, we didn't have, like, a definitive.
All right, so just Wentz, only Wentz.
Yeah, just Wentz. Mason Rudolph is currently, he's concussed. Okay, so we'll see if the Sanford kid there. Yeah.
Hodges, Devlin Hodges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no.
Jameis Winston, yes.
Yep, have to be.
Marcus Mariota, yes.
Definitely.
And then your hero, Colt McCoy. And only you get that. I don't get that. I told you he
should be Alex Smith, and there's been a long debate about Alex Smith.
Well, there's not a debate. He's average, and he's now out of the league. But Colt McCoy is just your guy. Now, that's not a wavering on Colt McCoy.
All right, that's 19. And I said the last 10 years, so you could throw guys like Romo in there. Yeah.
All right, that's fun.
So there's 19 quarterbacks. Yeah.
A little waffly.
I didn't count the world. The world would have been 30 to 35.
The world sucks. Come on. The world is ridiculous.
Ain't that the truth?
That's true.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Again, look out. Touchdown.
So when the Noles hit the road, join us at Hangar 38 in Bannerman Crossing, the exclusive watch party headquarters for 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
Hardee's new Monster Roast Beef Sandwich is stacked with slow-cooked roast beef, slices of crispy applewood smoked bacon, all covered in layers of melted cheese. This tasty triple threat is kind of like an epic no-hands backflip on a wild Mustang while spearing a great white shark. How you got a wild horse out in the middle of the ocean isn't important. What's important is that the new Monster Roast Beef Combo with fries and a Dr. Pepper is only available at Hardee's.
Available for limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
Times can be tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you riding today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
People always appreciate it when you deliver on a promise and go the extra mile. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, our team would treat you like you would want to be treated. Zero interest financing and low monthly payments are available when you're approved for the Carrier credit card. Apply at baranoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Catboy! Owlette! Gecko! Let's go!
Your favorite hero trio is back in an all-new musical adventure. PJ Masks Live save the day. Singing, dancing, and ruling the night.
Friday, November 22nd, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center.
PJ Masks Live save the day.
Tickets are on sale now at pjmaskslive.com or tuckerciviccenter.com.
VIP meet and greet packages available.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Developing story, Joe Madden reuniting with the Angels, agreed to a 3-year deal to become the team's new manager. Madden spent the first 31 years of his baseball career with the Angels organization. Game 4 of tonight's matchup of the American League Championship Series between the Astros and Yankees postponed, expected inclement weather in New York. The Yankees will start Masahiro Tanaka against Houston's Zach Greinke in Game 4 tomorrow. Astros will go with Justin Verlander in Game 5 Friday, and Yankees skipper Aaron Boone says he'll likely start James Paxton in that one. NFL, ESPN's Lindsey Theory reporting the Rams expect newly acquired corner Jalen Ramsey to pass a physical and be available to play Sunday in Atlanta. Not only will Ramsey make the defense better, he could actually help the struggling Rams offense too, says ESPN's Marcus Spears.
He creates a lot for Wade Phillips in this defense. He immediately makes this team better, and I know everybody is out on this offense. The offensive line is struggling. Jared Goff. Jalen Ramsey will steal you a possession or two a game. He'll get your offense the ball back, and in turn create more opportunities for a struggling offense to have some success.
Dolphins and Titans making changes at quarterback. Miami starts Ryan Fitzpatrick in place of Josh Rosen Sunday against Buffalo. Tennessee benching Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill. against the Chargers Sunday. Today, marking a second straight day, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield isn't practicing because of a hip injury. Coach Freddie Kitchens, though, has said there's no doubt Mayfield will play the next game, October 27th against the Patriots. Cleveland has a bye this week. According to Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, Mason Rudolph will be the team's starting quarterback once he returns from the concussion protocol. Pittsburgh is on a bye this week.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello, friends. Thanks for tuning to it. A happy Balls McWednesday to you and yours. WTSM app, good for mobile devices. Twitter is at J Cameron Show. Speaking of which, Dan writes, at J Cameron Show, is the new Disney Plus going to have the ACC network? Well, I know I read an article not long ago, earlier this year, I think it was in August, that Disney and Charter had struck a new carriage deal a week before the launch of ESPN's ACC network, and they did have it, but that was not here. That was for Charter. So, I don't know. It's a little frustrating here. I think they have it on Spectrum, for example, but nobody cares about Spectrum.
I think Disney Plus struck a deal with Hulu. I'm pretty sure. Like, you can bundle those two things together, and if you get Hulu Plus, then you do get the ACC network.
Yeah, but you remember what we were talking about with this? For a long time now, we've said, that's great that you have all these other options, and there are shows being made, really good shows, and it's hard to find them because you never know where to look anymore. You just got to trust your friend when they tell you, hey, there's a great show on the Hump Network. What? And so it's not like it sounds. Go check it out. It's a camel hump. It's great. Anyhow, click on it and you'll see. But what I would tell you.
Hump day.
Yeah, it's a great commercial. But that said, you never know where anything is, and you got to be told, hey, this show's great. Go check it out. You'd like it. It's right up your alley. But we're always reluctant to cut the cord because we're like, streaming is great, but your Wi-Fi, you're going to be lagging. And now we have found out for real that is a real problem, man, because I have YouTube television or whatever the hell it is. And, great. There are a lot of options there, but it's BS because I'm stuck watching things 7 and 8 minutes behind. No matter what you do, I don't care if you have the greatest Wi-Fi of all time.
Well, see, if you hook it up through your gaming system, you're in a much better situation.
Yeah.
So I have it through my Xbox One, and the connection is primo.
You've not had any lagging?
I had one problem where I had to reload the feed, and that is, 4 or 5 football games worth of watching.
That's good stuff for you, man. I forget I have it. I'm just steady paying for it like an ass.
That's how they don't care.
That's how they get you.
Oh, it's only $5.99. Well, how many people are going to forget?
It's annoying.
You might say it's how the message boards make their money.
Well, that's how a lot of things make their money anyhow. It's just the
rollover
effect. Man, I was looking at something during the break that cracked me up. There was a LPGA player on the senior. First of all, did you know there was a senior LPGA tour? I had no idea of that. I mean, you want about ratings being obsolete. I mean,
do they call it the Champions Tour LPGA, or do they call it
the senior? They call it the Senior LPGA
So they didn't
Championship.
get the champions?
They didn't get the champions.
Wow. Disrespect.
Yeah, it's blatant disrespect. They're just short of saying fat old women out here golfing. I mean, what are we doing? Anyhow,
I think, with all due respect to 2019, I think if that was on the guide, more people would click it. I think if that's what it said on the guide.
Fat older women out here golfing is
Yeah.
on. Quick, flip over.
Certainly the groundskeeper in Bill Murray's character in Caddyshack, like, whoa, okay. Get over here, Mrs. Bertha.
The story reads, that's not a typo by Leanne Walker's name. It does strike me that she would be on the senior LPGA tour. Leanne Walker. That sounds right to me.
Okay.
It's just, I'll leave it there.
Walker.
That sounds like she would be on the senior.
I think she would be like the presenter in the CMTs for the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Leanne Walker is going to present to Reba McEntire.
Of course. The only one. The only one.
Well, you could do Dolly Parton. But yeah.
She's already received it 4 times.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Yeah.
They were adjusted after it came to Walker's attention that she had violated the rules by having her caddy line her up on the putting surface at the Pete Dye course. Walker incurred a 2-stroke penalty for each time that it happened, which then added 42 strokes to her opening score. 42 strokes. Now, here's the thing about the Senior LPGA Championship.
Or as Jeff calls them, the Fat Old Women Out Here Golfing Tour.
That's right. Fat Old Women Out Here Golfing Tour is not featuring great play. Because here's what's funny about the story. Not just that she had 42 strokes added to her score in the opening round, but that opening round score was a robust 85. So she dropped an 85, was already angry, and then they told her, yeah, we're going to add 42 strokes to that, honey. You were lining things up there with your caddy, which, by the way, based on your 85, would suggest it's not working, so just stop doing it. In addition, it's against the rules.
At least they could call her ma'am. This is the senior tour.
What did I say? Honey? It's Leanne Walker. She probably likes honey.
H-U-N, hun.
Yeah, hun.
Hi, hun.
It's like it's a diner. We're at Waffle House. LPGA rules official Marty Robinson.
That was the sponsor of the event. How did you know?
LPGA rules official Marty Robinson, also aptly named, said another caddy in the group informed Walker of the rules infraction midway through the front 9 of her second round. Walker then brought the situation to an official's attention on the 14th hole. What were we waiting on there, Leanne? I'm going to read this again, and you tell me what we got going on here besides an old woman cheating. LPGA rules official Marty Robinson said another caddy in the group informed Walker of the rules infraction midway through the front 9. My girl comes out here in the 14th hole and goes, we may have a problem. I may have been violating the rules back there.
So they're really hard up for that $1,000 or $2,000 that it's going to get you, in terms of the purse. Because the caddy, the opposing caddy, informs her, takes it upon themselves.
Oh, yeah.
In a game where you're supposed to police
it's
yourself and say,
of honor,
hey,
Tom.
Just to let you know, you think you think you're only 5 over. Well, you're actually 47 over, and here's why. And you need to report it, or I will.
47 over.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's some shenanigans going on out there at the older fat ladies playing some golf out here tour. I'd say that about men, too. Whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, no, equal
opportunity. Look at those guys out there.
I know.
Darren Clark. What happened to him?
Oh, well, Darren has always been kind of looking like that.
Darren
Darren
now owns the pub.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
The NFL is not sending the tanking problem to a think tank. Commissioner Roger Goodell said the league is enjoying peak competitiveness despite 5 teams winning 1 game or fewer through the first 6 weeks of the season. Quote, I don't think the league has ever been more competitive than it is currently. Okay, just shut up. That's ridiculous. He said that from the Ritz-Carlton in Fort Lauderdale. You see that in teams going from last to first in dramatic fashion. I think it's unique to the National Football League. For us, the competitiveness of our game is obviously critical. I don't think it's solved with a draft lottery. I think that is solved by all the issues we try to deal with on a regular basis through the competition committee and the league in trying to make sure our league is competitive. The concept of tanking has gained traction now with teams such as the Cleveland Browns, 1 win in 2016 and 17. The Miami Dolphins, currently 0-6, trading several prime assets in exchange for draft capital and long-term hope. The Bengals are 0-6. The Redskins are 1-5, facing major rebuilding efforts over the next few years. But according to him, everything's good. Don't worry about all the tanking. It doesn't affect the league.
It's not the same team in the AFC every year. Trust me. There's a lot of other teams.
I would wonder, the other part of this, and whenever we look into these meetings, they are supposedly looking into what they can do about the league's abysmal officiating and ridiculous stoppages. I would like to hear him talk about that a lot because they got to do something. And we were talking about this yesterday, but 282 more penalties called through Week 6 than last year at this same time. That's nuts.
I understand the sentiment, but do you really want to hear him talk about those things?
You know where I'm going. Yeah. I mean, anybody, yeah, sure. In other NFL news, owners discussed a 17-game season as part of negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement. Art Rooney II said he'll keep details at the table. He pointed out that he's old enough to remember 12-game seasons and is not real sure what he wants to do with it.
So he's pushing for 18-game seasons. Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's doing, yeah.
2 preseason games in 18. From what I hear, that's off the table, and listening to the chatter up in Bristol with their insiders, that 18's off the table, but 17 might be in there with 3 preseason games.
Well, the coaches have said repeatedly that they don't want they don't want to play this many preseason games, that they think it would be much better to play more games in the regular season. And frankly, the way that they coach those games lends credence to that discussion because there are coaches in the preseason who do not play their starters in any game, at all.
I'd just like to know if somebody could run the algorithm real quick on the schedule and say how many games are necessary, or do we have enough now to where each team could play their Thursday night game off of a bye week, and then the schedule would not be affected and it would still end at the same time. So do you need a 17-game season with 18 weeks? Do you need 18 with 19?
Right.
How many games would it take to where those Thursday night games are actually good football? Because however many games are necessary, that's how many games I want. Because I don't think Thursday night football is going anywhere. It makes too much money for the league. Broadcast networks spend way too much money on it.
Oh, right. It's definitely not going anywhere. It's going to be here for as long as we can see.
So let's make it better.
Yeah, they got to make it better. It's usually pretty bad. And it is certainly a farce to say that they're greatly concerned about player safety as evidenced by everything being a flag if you tackle. But, by all means, play Thursday night.
But you've teased it too. I think it was last hour. If not, it was off the air. But tomorrow, if Denver were to beat Kansas City, because it's a short week Thursday night, the chances are only heightened that Denver pulls off an upset in that scenario. Wacky results are not, considered all that outlandish. They're the norm for Thursday night, whether it's a game that it hits the over by 20 points or it's a game that looks like 17-10. Because the quality of the game is just garbage. It's flat garbage.
It usually is. We have had a couple of good ones. What we don't get typically is a good Monday night game, right? I mean, Monday night's usually when you're like, good Lord.
Sure.
But that's just because the matchups are bad.
Well, you might get good finishes on a Thursday, but I don't know that the quality of play
I think that's accurate. You're right. Yeah.
There's
a lot of that in the NFL in general, though, Tom.
I mean, think about this. We were talking to Lee DeKemper today for the Scuttlebucks, which is available on JoeBucksFan.com.
Right now,
iTunes,
in fact.
Google
yes.
Play every Wednesday. But Lee was saying when he was walking out of the Rams locker room
that they were on the bikes already, and that's something they normally do for Monday.
Correct. Yeah, that they were doing their workouts in the post game, and it's a 4 o'clock Eastern, so it's late in the day, 7 o'clock Eastern. They've got a game in 4 days' time, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Whether you're on the West Coast or not, that's when you start. And so the guys are done, blood, sweat, tears, all that stuff on the field, and they've got to get on the bikes already? How is that good for you?
Yeah, I can't imagine that it is, and also, screw that. That is way too dedicated. No chance in hell I do that. I'm not getting on the bike. We're just going to back things up here, and I'll deal with it. I mean, that's nuts.
Go tell that to Moses.
Yeah, Moses McCray indeed. Landry Jones, Cardale Jones, Connor Cook, Sammy Coates. Who else? Anybody else here? Anybody else that you
Sammy Coates.
Aaron Murray, Quentin Flowers. All guys drafted in the XFL draft.
I really liked Sammy Coates. I thought he was going to be something on the NFL level.
I thought it would be fun to at least throw these names out here. Cameron Artis-Payne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Running back, Auburn. Drafted by the Dallas Renegades. Donnell Pumphrey. Remember him, the San Diego State kid who went wild? Yeah, he's already not in the league. He's in the XFL.
May have bet against him in a bowl game. Not a good bet.
I don't even remember Philip Walker. You remember Philip Walker? Temple quarterback? Nah, me neither.
Andrew Johnson's vice president before impeachment.
Philip Walker. There's a couple of guys on here. I was like, do I remember that guy? Do I remember him? No, I don't remember him. Definitely remember Aaron Murray, quarterback of Georgia.
Yeah,
definitely remember
he's
Quentin
a
Flowers.
Viper now. He's a Tampa Bay Viper.
Quentin Murray is?
Aaron Murray is.
Aaron Murray is? Mm-hmm. He is a Viper. So is Quentin Flowers.
Oh,
he was drafted as a running back.
Oh, I was going to say, what do we got, a quarterback battle right out the gate?
Oh, right out the bat. There's controversy in Tampa, and it's not with Winston. It's with the Vipers. You going to watch any of that, XFL? Probably not. Come on.
If it's on one of the TVs at an establishment, my eyes will wander there during commercial breaks. That's the best I can do.
We did when we were on the deck at the deck.
Yeah, that was after.
We were watching that newfound league that lasted an hour.
Was that the Louisville game? That was a good afternoon game.
It was basketball season, and it is almost basketball season. It's sad what we've become, a basketball school.
But it's not sad to embrace that sport in that program.
You're damn right it's not. They've earned it by winning a whole bunch of basketball games and recruiting exceptionally well at a place where it's difficult to do that. It is a thing of beauty on a daily basis.
Hard to make this whole thing blend.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
And that's why I'm telling you, they are the real deal. That's why I asked you to consider them the next time you're looking to buy a new car. Who are they? It's Chris Kraft and his wife Kelly. Chris is one of the Kraft brothers, owners of Kraft Nissan and the new Infiniti of Tallahassee. They do what it takes to get you into the car you want. I've seen them in action. It doesn't matter if your credit is on the field or on the sideline with a few dings. Their finance department will make it happen. You know why? Because they're committed to helping families break out of the pattern of used car after used car. So head on in to Kraft Nissan and the new Infiniti of Tallahassee and experience the Kraft Brothers dealership commitment to excellence.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
The 7th Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway is Tallahassee's premier location to try out the best craft brews from the state of Florida. With 14 self-service taps activated by cutting-edge technology, you can try as little or as much as you like from their full menu. The 7th Hill is a proud home of international soccer, opening early for every Arsenal game. They're also open by request for your favorite club, too. Whether it's a happy hour deal, Sunday brunch with $3 mimosas and a food truck, or time to catch up with friends over a board game, darts, or shuffleboard, Tallahassee's premier spot to enjoy local and Florida craft brews is the 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right underneath the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Experience Tallahassee's largest Oktoberfest celebration at the Pavilion in the center of Tallahassee on Friday, October 18th. Spend the night out with friends in a beer garden featuring festive beers and wines with unlimited refills, and enjoy traditional food and desserts while testing your skills in the interactive game station. All proceeds support local seniors with elder care services. Purchase tickets at the Pavilion box office or online at eldercarebigbend.org.
When was the last time you experienced something for the first time? On Thursday, October 17th from 6 to 10 p.m., Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop is hosting another exclusive cigar tasting event featuring Balmoral cigars. Meet their national sales director while enjoying music, craft beers, and delicious cigars. You'll also get special event deals on all Balmoral cigars. Don't miss the Jerry's Cigar Shop Balmoral Cigars event on Thursday, October 17th from 6 to 10 p.m. Find out more at jerrycigarshop.com.
Hi, welcome to this ad for new Subway sliders starting at $1.89 each. How do you want it?
Cheer Squad. Woo! Go Subway sliders starting at $1.89 each. Give me a $1.89 ham and jack slider.
$1.89 ham and jack slider.
Give me a $1.89 Italian spice slider.
$1.89 Italian spice slider.
What's that spell?
Doesn't really spell anything.
New Subway sliders starting at $1.89 each. Go sliders!
Customization for flavored cheese and sauce at participating shops plus tax. Price higher on delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Did you know that Air Force in Hawaii play for what is known as the Cutter Trophy?
The Dirk Cutter Trophy?
This series started in 1966 with Air Force winning 6 of the last 8. The Cutter Trophy is named after General Lawrence S. Cutter, the first head of the Pacific Air Force's command in 1957. The trophy represents the friendship between the schools, Air Force and Hawaii, and to the cooperation between the people of Hawaii and the Air Force. Also, since this has become a popular segment, Neverland. Kansas has never won at Texas. Did you know that? 0-8. Louisville has never beaten Clemson since joining. 0-5. Yeah. West Virginia has never beaten Oklahoma in Big 12 play. 0-7. All matchups this weekend.
Believable on most accounts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a huge game between FAM and North Carolina A&T for first place in the MEAC on the line. Obviously, the Rattlers at Bragg Memorial Stadium, FAMU 5-1. Well, North Carolina A&T 4-1. Next 3 opponents after the Aggies combined for a 3-16 record until a meeting with Bethune-Cookman in the Florida Classic. So here you go. Got to make hay. Got to ride.
This is your game until the big game because there is no Celebration Bowl this year because other people screwed up before this group got here and fixed it.
That is correct. That's correct. It's a shame. But win that game. It's a big game.
Yeah. North Carolina A&T typically can play.
Elsewhere, don't get much. You get the Wednesday game tonight. You get the Pitt at Syracuse on Friday night. Ohio State at Northwestern. Who cares? That, too, is a Friday night. That's where it belongs. Nobody's going to watch that. The sleepy nooner. The Beth Mowens. Here we go. Wisconsin at Illinois. What, I got you? You can call it the Pam Ward, right?
I think that's what it used to be called, but it's not accurate. No. Pam hasn't called a football game in forever, right? It's always Beth.
I always interchange the two. I thought Pam and Beth were the same person. ESPN wanted to expand their profile as saying, hey, look, we've got multiple women who do games now. Yeah. No, Beth Mowens is Pam Ward. Pam Ward is Beth Mowens.
Kind of like Nick Price and Nick Faldo.
Yeah, exactly. So the Nooners are Wisconsin and Illinois, which is such a Big Ten nooner. I mean, that's just perfect, right? You're still kind of finishing off your third cup of coffee. You're thinking about lunch. Not real sure. Do you want to do some yard work before the games come on? Double check with your wife with the honey to-do list. Oh, what game is starting now? Wisconsin, Illinois. Yeah, great. Honey, if you want me to do anything, now's the time.
Yeah. You got 2 choices there.
Yeah.
Extra spicy, extra loaded Bloody Mary, or chores. And you know what? Both are good choices.
Yeah.
Both are very good choices.
That's right. Florida at South Carolina is noon. Good game. Ugh. Oh, what's wrong with you? That South Carolina defense can play.
Excuse me, I heard it. It was dyslexia. I heard South Florida and South Carolina.
No. Florida at South Carolina. You're good, buddy.
Word misplacement.
Could be a good. Does South Carolina continue the momentum after the huge upset of Georgia?
No, I don't think so. Okay. The one guy today on Chuck Oliver, my God, he went on for 5 minutes about that.
Yeah, he did. He
was excited, wasn't he?
He was interesting. Georgia Tech's at Miami. Oh, good God. The poor ACC network is going to trot that out there for your viewing pleasure. Thank God we don't have it. That is unbelievable. Georgia Tech and Miami. Oh.
So you know what I saw? It gave me hope. I wonder if – remember how we had the Bounce TV issue with basketball? And we're going to get some clarity on this.
Good old Bounce television, yeah.
Right. Because TXL got the rights instead of the local Fox station, Raycom. It was the Raycom ties. And so we'd be relegated to regular standard def, Knowles games. I have seen still, if games aren't on the ACC network, there are some regional sports network ACC games that are picked up. So like Fox Sports Sun or Fox Sports Florida gets some football games that are ACC versus ACC because the ESPN channel doesn't pick it up. So my hope is, long way of saying, that when basketball season arrives, if we
get some of those,
we
games.
might be on television.
Yeah,
like
nice.
Actual high def television if we're not on the ACC channel.
High def. For when you're not blinded by the beauty of the great vista that is the ESPN corner pocket box.
Well, that's right.
My goodness gracious. Oregon at Washington's your game, by the way. That's at 3:30. Good game. There we go. Oregon's newfound physicality on the road against Washington's defense. Great place to see a game. In fact, I think we would probably agree on this in voting. If we had to see a game elsewhere this year, other than Army-Navy, I think we'd like to go to that game right there. Beautiful weather right now in the Pacific Northwest, right? Go to that stadium. Oh, forget about it. We'd love it. What a game.
So that's just outside of Seattle, right? That's
it's right in Seattle is where it is, yeah.
Let me see the Seattle weather.
Yeah,
what do we got?
It's probably gloomy.
Although it said, gloomy indeed. 53-46 of the splits,
though.
I'm
telling you,
that's
buddy.
Not bad.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Little overcoat.
Gloomy and 53 is our kind of heaven right about now. It's supposed to be the fall. Not 96 and rainy, but gloomy.
Well, we do get a touch tomorrow. We get a little taste.
Okay. Duke, Virginia? A little Duke, Virginia action interest you?
Interesting. ACC Network? That screams ACC Network to me.
Network.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
3:30, baby. Roll it on out there.
Halftime special with Coach K.
I actually like that game, Duke and Virginia.
I like their offensive line.
You know what I like? If I'm going to sample from each of the conferences, Baylor, Oklahoma State. That's going to test you. You struggle with the Big 12. I notice that every time I throw out a game that's not Oklahoma or Texas, you're like,
Baylor's playing defense. Oklahoma State has been up and down this season.
Yeah, good
Texas
game.
Tech beat him into the ground.
Good game.
See?
Fun game. Arizona State, Utah. Ooh, battle of two ranked teams. Two top 20 teams. Pac-12 North, 6 p.m.
I like the state of Utah. Very holy.
ACC Network Magic at Hangar 38. Come join us. Florida State getting points against Wake Forest. We'll be there. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Can't wait.
I think all of our games, which we're going to have a lot of these in the next 2 to 3 years, on the ACC Network for football should be called ACC Network Magic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No chance Texas A&M and that impotent offense that Jimbo's rolling out there these days goes to Ole Miss and lays an egg and loses, do they?
I think that game might be close. I mean, look, Arkansas, that's a rivalry, quote-unquote.
That's a Jimbo special is what this is. That's one of those, there's no way in hell we should lose this game, but it's about to be a Jimbo special.
That stuff's garbage.
Little Jimbo special. This feels an awful lot like Florida State at NC State.
That stuff's garbage.
Florida State at Wake.
Stuff's garbage.
We're not going to start E.J. Manuel.
That's off a bye.
We're going to go with Clint Trickett. And then E.J.'s not available for this one. Middle of the second quarter. E.J., get in there.
Don't you worry about that toss pass, Greg Reed.
Dolls.
They've only run it every week. You can bite on it. It's no problem. Ain't nobody going to be running wide open in the end zone.
Boise, BYU. I'm trying.
So Hangar 38 for Oregon, Washington, the second half of it. Let's congregate and get ready for our kickoff.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's great. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You must learn.
I'm Christine Lisi. Developing story, Joe Madden reuniting with the Angels, agreed to a 3-year deal to become the team's new manager. Madden spent the first 31 years of his baseball career with the Angels organization. Game 4 of tonight's matchup of the American League Championship Series between the Astros and Yankees postponed, expected inclement weather in New York. The Yankees will start Masahiro Tanaka against Houston's Zach Greinke in Game 4 tomorrow. Astros will go with Justin Verlander in Game 5 Friday, and Yankees skipper Aaron Boone says he'll likely start James Paxton in that one. NFL, ESPN's Lindsey Theory reporting the Rams expect newly acquired corner Jalen Ramsey to pass a physical and be available to play Sunday in Atlanta. Not only will Ramsey make the defense better, he could actually help the struggling Rams offense too, says ESPN's Marcus Spears.
He creates a lot for Wade Phillips in this defense. He immediately makes this team better, and I know everybody is out on this offense. The offensive line is struggling. Jared Goff. Jalen Ramsey will steal you a possession or two a game. He'll get your offense the ball back, and in turn create more opportunities for a struggling offense to have some success.
Dolphins and Titans making changes at quarterback. Miami starts Ryan Fitzpatrick in place of Josh Rosen Sunday against Buffalo. Tennessee benching Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill against the Chargers Sunday. Today, marking a second straight day, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield isn't practicing because of a hip injury. Coach Freddie Kitchens, though, has said there's no doubt Mayfield will play the next game, October 27th against the Patriots. Cleveland has a bye this week. According to Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, Mason Rudolph will be the team's starting quarterback once he returns from the concussion protocol. Pittsburgh is on a bye this week.
You're on your way to pick up your daughter from her first high school dance. As you pull away, it starts to rain. Hard. Thankfully, you have a new set of premium Trico wiper blades. Engineered for over 100 years to perform in any weather condition. With Trico's full line of premium beam blades, it also means you've got a clear line of sight for her first kiss, too. Hey, buddy. Head to your local Napa Auto Parts store for a set of premium Trico wiper blades. Trico, seeing you through.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Times can be tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
Hey, I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
At Sport Clips Haircuts, we're on a mission to help our veterans with their education. In 2013, we established the VFW Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program. With the help of your generous donations, we've raised over $6 million and awarded more than 1,400 scholarships across the country. Visit Sport Clips today and help a hero. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate an additional $1 for every haircut we give. Help us continue this honorable mission.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new fall arrivals from Mizuno. Discover layers of feel with the new MP20 range. The MP20 is the ultimate muscle back. The MP20 MMC uses multi-material construction for legendary feel and performance. And the MP20 HMB is a playable set of hollow, tungsten-enhanced irons for many skill levels. Let us help you get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Hardee's new Monster Roast Beef Sandwich is stacked with slow-cooked roast beef, slices of crispy applewood smoked bacon, all covered in layers of melted cheese. This tasty triple threat is kind of like an epic no-hands backflip on a wild Mustang while spearing a great white shark. How you got a wild horse out in the middle of the ocean isn't important. What's important is that the new Monster Roast Beef Combo with fries and a Dr. Pepper is only available at Hardee's.
Available for limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
It may technically be autumn, but DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener are running out a sizzling hot sale. Cordless deals that can't be beat. If you buy 2 select tools, get a dual 5-amp starter kit free. If you want to go bigger and better, buy a 2-piece premium brushless hammer drill impact kit, and you can pick a select free bare tool and get a 3rd 5-amp battery free. That's 3 tools, 3 5-amp batteries. Or buy a 3-speed brushless impact kit and get a 2nd impact kit for free. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, with the pros and serious do-it-yourselfer shop. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
On October 19th, the Knolls take on Wake Forest, and the best place to catch the game is at Jerry's Cigar Shop on Cary Forest Parkway. Enjoy a complimentary catered menu, great deals on cigars, craft beers, and plush leather seating. Even if the Seminoles lose, you're still a winner at Jerry's Cigar Shop. And don't forget to join us for the Balmore Cigar Tasting event on October 17th, featuring event-only deals including the highly anticipated Paso Doble. Jerry's Cigar Shop is your game day watch party headquarters. Find all the deals at jerrycigarshop.com.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Russell Wilson for the MVP right now, wouldn't you?
Leaning heavily in that direction, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Russell Wilson. If I'm laying the odds here, it's Russell Wilson. I'm just going through some numbers.
Watson's got to be climbing up the ranks, though, right?
Rapidly. Yeah, it's interesting. You move down the list. There are actual odds to this sort of thing, of course. But if you're placing money, I think you get plus money on Russell Wilson right now, which is crazy. He has been, he's been spectacular. He, to me, looks like the MVP. And now would be the time you'd place that bet because you're getting plus money. Minus money is out there if you were to take Patrick Mahomes, I think. That's a very public thing, but it's not going to be him right now. They're struggling to score in the second half of games. And Christian McCaffrey has a chance, especially since this will be the second consecutive year that he's trying to go 1,000.
Yeah, but what Russell's doing is he's working with a flawed team. You've got the expectations thing. You got that Kansas City is expected to go 13-3. They've already got a few losses. So
yeah, can't beat Tom Brady because his defense is ruling the day and their offense is struggling a little bit right now. Aaron Rodgers, maybe he's in contention. He's having a good year.
But the thing about Russell Wilson is the narrative too. A lot of people, again, the NFL circles, NFL Network, ESPN, the coverage of it, they say, "Will this be his time? He deserves one," and that matters. That matters greatly because this is a very subjective award. It's not like you amass stats and you win it. People vote on heartstrings a little bit, and so I think he would be the heartstring candidate.
There'll be a sentiment for McCaffrey, and it won't be for nefarious reasons. Because he's got more than 900 yards, 9 touchdowns in 6 games. If they didn't play the Bucs, he'd have 1,200 yards.
Oh, he would, yeah.
I mean, he is. That's the only team that has shut him down.
He's my MVP.
He's going crazy. Think about that. So non-quarterback, if you're going non-quarterback, McCaffrey is their number one contender.
Easily, yeah. Listen, I know we don't talk fantasy very often here, but I did take him.
That guy's going nuts.
And that was a wise pick.
Well, yes, he's been unbelievable since the day he stepped foot in the league. There's a guy that's like, Tom, I'm here to show you. I can play ball. I mean, he can really play. There's no other non-quarterback that's up for the award that you would think about. Oh, you go straight to McCaffrey.
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
No, there's nobody else. Maybe Luke Kuechly. That freaking guy. Every week I'm sitting there going, why don't you retire? You're unbelievable.
Yeah. After 4 weeks, it was Shaq Barrett, and haven't seen him since. Have you?
Nope. Teams have figured out. May want to block him.
Nobody else is taking advantage of that.
Oh, man. It's certainly not going to be Baker freaking Mayfield. Makes me smile that team is We'll see. They're not.
You didn't say it yet. I know you wanted to drop the G word on it.
Well,
Garbaggio.
They're just not great. They're not. They don't have an offensive line, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these guys, and we can rest blame at the feet of quarterbacks as we can with Winston and others. But a lot of these guys are playing behind some very suspect offensive lines. For that matter, Russell Wilson is playing behind a suspect offensive line, but he is so good on the move and keeping his eyes down the football field that it's time and again. You just watch amazing play after amazing play. It would be so weird to call plays in that offense. Just to try to call plays because nothing comes out on time.
Yeah.
Everything is just, I don't want to say it's ad lib, but
the NFC playoff picture, obviously you're only a third of the way through the season, but if these are the candidates right now for 6 spots, and you had San Francisco obviously holding it down, they're the only undefeated team.
Oh, by the way, they'll be 6-0 this week because they play the sorry-ass Washington Redskins, so there you go.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it's the NFL. Wait, nope, not the NFL.
That's it. Yeah.
So you got San Francisco and that defense, that running game. Yikes. If Garoppolo has a decent game against you, you're going to get raced. Seattle, of course, 5-1. New Orleans, they're going to get Breeze back. It sounds like maybe next week. If not, they have a bye, and then he'll be back for the back half of the season.
The way their defense is playing, my God.
Green Bay's defense has been a lot better this year.
Yes.
Somebody out of the East is going to win it at 9-7, as seemingly they always do in that division.
We're doing this? Okay, so right now, if you took the NFC, you'd say, I'll take the Eagles, but you don't love it.
Right.
You don't love it, but you take the Eagles. In the West, the 49ers are right there with the Seahawks. That's a war. Maybe 2 teams come out of the division. By the way, right now you would say the Rams do not make the playoffs. The NFC North, I like Green Bay, obviously. It's a weird division. Every team is 500 or better, and I can make a good argument for every one of those teams to perhaps win the division. It's bizarre.
Yeah. If you're looking for a division to give you a chance to win 2 wild card spots, I think it's the North over the West for sure.
Yeah, by the way, that Lions team who got thoroughly screwed, I mean, think about them, though, right now. I mean, you can't afford to have the refs do that to you like they did on Monday because you're in a division where everybody's over 500. Now, and I'm sure the Vikings and the certainly we know the Packers, but the Vikings and the Bears were probably, boo-hoo. Sorry about that.
Sure, yeah. And Minnesota's 4-2, and they found a way to lose that game to Green Bay. The epoch moment for Detroit was the tie in Week 1 against Arizona.
Well, they blew a 20-point lead, a 17-point lead. Yeah, it's inexcusable. Meanwhile, the Saints are going to win the division in the NFC South, probably. However, Kyle Allen-led Carolina Panthers are on a roll, buddy. They've won 4 straight.
But look at all those teams, and you put them on the field against each other in wild card weekend, division weekend. Usually wild card weekend is hot garbage, but it looks like the NFC is going to produce a good one this year.
It's going to be really good. How weird is that going to be? After this Sunday, we're going to be talking about the 6-0 San Francisco 49ers. 6-0.
I feel like they were always 6-0 in my youth, but that's not true. They were only 5-0, 6-0. I think it was 91.
91.
Yeah.
That was when they were a juggernaut. Them and the Cowboys every year. You're just kind of like, well,
tail end of Montana's time.
It's at that time you were kind of just going, all right, Cowboys Niners, here we go. It's gonna be a fun ride. They host, not this week. Obviously, they're on the road against Washington this week. You know who they got the following week? Great game, Carolina. Woo! But then they had the sorry-ass Cardinals. And then we finally get the war we've been looking for in November, early November, Seahawks-Niners.
Man, that was once upon a time. Right after Ravens-Steelers was over.
Well, those linebackers, when Jim Leavitt was the linebackers coach in San Francisco. Remember that? Yeah, it was good stuff.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Come on!
swimming pool.
I see where our guy, Warrick Dunn, has done it again. And that never gets old, and I think, I'm guilty of it too. We so frequently are attracted to and are drawn towards negative stories or salacious stories, certainly. And that's understandable. I mean, those are eye-catching and titillating to some extent. But, if you ignore this story, it's a disservice because frankly, there are some really good people in the world, and Warrick Dunn is one of them. As I continue to be very, very proud of him, I think all Noles are, but as a human being, to read this story every time it comes out, Tampa Bay Times posted it today. Former Buck Warrick Dunn surprises St. Pete single mother with new home. Of course, that headline's been written hundreds of times, and it just is incredible each and every time you read it. And I know how proud we are, but of course he's partnered with Habitat for Humanity and others to give a hardworking nursing assistant her first home. Single mother LaToya Reedy dreamed of being a homeowner, couldn't afford it, and here's Warrick Dunn. It's just, I think I've read that story and gotten choked up 15 times. Every time he does it, you read it and you go, oh man. It's the best. So I don't really have anything to say about that other than good on you, Warrick Dunn. Thanks for being a shining light in what is an otherwise gloomy array of headlines on a daily basis.
A lot of times, 90+% of the time, if you've got a hero as a kid, they're not really worth worshiping, so to speak.
You don't meet your heroes, right?
Yeah, right. But Warrick Dunn was one of mine. I had a 28 little tyke jersey. It was I think it was the bike brand, the FSU, and then he had the crappy helmet with the single bar. It might have been 2-bar helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch Charlie Ward and I'd watch Warrick Dunn, and those two guys were my favorite. And then when Warrick Dunn got drafted to the Bucks, I was beside myself because I got to watch my favorite player play on TV every weekend, and that was when the Bucks had changed the uniforms and they were actually pretty decent.
Yeah, of course.
He started 5-0 in his rookie year. I think it was out scrimmage gains Barry Sanders in the Silverdome in one of his first 5 starts. I mean, he could do no wrong in my eyes when I was a kid. And to see what he does for the community, it's better than anything I ever witnessed as a kid. I'm still in awe of Warrick Dunn. I know nobody's a perfect person, but I mean, Jesus, this guy is unbelievably good-natured.
Yeah, and he's been on the show. Warrick's always been good to us. Let's not forget, every year he is on the tour making the rounds during the Super Bowl because he's won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award before. And so that award is given out annually. And what happens is every year during the Super Bowl run, they have Radio Row, and different people are pitching different things, but this is less about a pitch and more about making whomever that player is, the recipient of the award that year, available to Radio Row to talk about the good deeds that they do. And if you're a former winner of the award, oftentimes they'll fly you in and have you be an ambassador, if you will, for that award. And Warrick Dunn has done that on several occasions, including just last year. And, Warrick is not a guy that loves the microphone. He doesn't love to interact with the press. Not that he has anything against it. It's just not his forte. He's not a dynamic speaker, if you will. That's fine. Not everybody is. But he is a guy that never forgets, his roots, and he certainly doesn't forget the fine folks of Florida State University. And he will make it a point whenever he's doing those things to say, well, I'll talk to these 4 markets and this 5th one. Can we do Tallahassee? I don't know if they're here, but if not, can we call Jeff? He's done that several times, and it's just so cool. I've never asked for that. He's always done it, and I've always greatly appreciated it, but it just shows where his head's at. He does things like that for people all over the country all the time. That's just a nominal thing. It benefits us, sure, but I mean, it's just really cool that he's that kind of a thoughtful guy. Obviously, this is greater than anything I could bring up about a radio interview. I mean, his Warrick Dunn nonprofit and Warrick Dunn Charities has done, again, fully furnished 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes for a ton of single mothers. It's incredible.
I think the cool thing, too, is obviously they do a comprehensive process of making sure that you're a good candidate and somebody who – it's a situation like Warrick that he grew up in before his mother was killed.
Yeah.
Which is the mom's just trying to make ends meet and make things work. And that's who he's trying to find and uplift. But that Deshaun Watson's family is one of the Warrick Dunn charities families.
Every time that we think about this, I'm like, could have influenced him to come here.
You could have.
I mean,
he said, hey, man,
come on, man.
sit behind James for your red shirt year.
Help a brother out. Let's go.
But I think the really cool thing is a lot of Knowles should have their eyes on what Deshaun Watson does for charity because you get to see how paying it forward works in a high-profile setting. Mm-hmm. And that's just really cool. I mean, what are the odds that something like that would happen?
Yeah, you talked about the vetting process, too. I've had people ask every time we bring up this story, which is once a year at least, sometimes I guess maybe a couple years will stretch occasionally between mentions, how that works. This lady, this woman, and her son who moved in, Miss Reedy is her name. She received her new home, but she was vetted as a candidate, the way all of them are that receive houses, and they have to usually volunteer themselves to help out and pay forward themselves. So she was busy helping other families get their houses in order. She volunteered with Habitat for Humanity, helping to construct other homes along the way, completed more than 350 sweat equity hours, which surpasses, it's a requirement minimum of 300 hours. She did 350 hours. 50 extra hours is like a big deal.
That is, yeah. I mean, it's a work week plus.
I mean,
yes.
Goodness gracious, right? And that is the 300-hour part of it is required as part of Habitat's home ownership program prior to purchasing and moving into a Habitat home. Candidates also have to show, obviously, that they have a housing need. So perhaps they're in a situation where overcrowding is at play or it's an unsafe conditions, unsanitary sometimes, things like that. And then, they have to be attempting to work if they're not working, but working preferably. I mean, whatever it might be. I mean, obviously you got to have a job because you got to be able to continue to keep up the house. But it's incredible. So good for them. Good for her and good for him.
Every time you read that story, I think people feel like we do. You're inspired to do a little bit of good yourself, and that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about, is spreading that type of feeling, not just around a holiday season, but, the whole year round.
Which is coming up. It's my favorite time of year. By the way, good on you, Publix, as well. One of these days you'll spend some good money with us, but I give you all kinds of free pub, but you deserve it as well because in addition to the fully furnished home and stocked pantry, Publix gave out gift cards amounting to $5,000 to stock the refrigerator in the kitchen and all that. $5,000. Sweet Jesus, that's a lot of groceries. I could get busy with $5,000. That'd be fun.
Everybody can get busy with $5,000.
Good on you, Publix. Way to step up. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Appreciate you tuning on in. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. Sometimes we miss things. You say, damn it, I missed it. And that's when you get caught up. That's when you go back and you say, how can I find it? Well, it's on iTunes. Thanks for subscribing to the podcast, downloading that daily, listening to that on your commute. Perhaps you're on a jog, wherever it is you're listening. I appreciate you. And I appreciate those 5 stars. You can email the show if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at jcameron.show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices as well. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. So we had our first decommit. Here they come.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the decommits.
I heard this one was maybe there was mutual conversation about.
Okay, good.
I don't know the circumstances behind it. There was one years ago where the kid ended up committing to West Virginia, and that's because even by our standards at the time, Jimbo said,
really?
Red flags.
Yeah,
red flags.
Is that the kid that was stealing FBI stuff? There was like a weird.
I think, the kid who took like the bag off the bus.
It was crazy.
And it was an FBI dad's
That's
bag.
when they were like, oh, this is not good.
The tracer in it.
It's the wrong guy. No, I don't know. It's the kid out of Miami, the 4-star defensive back, Jalen Harrell.
So what are you doing between 7 games? Well, I'm going to the bus.
I'm going to the bus to steal some stuff. But anyhow, I don't worry about defensive backs decommitting unless we don't have any. But we have 57 defensive backs, apparently none of which can play. But we have a lot of them, so we'll have plenty there. I'm not worried about that. As long as you're not losing linemen. And in fact, I'd like to hear an awful lot about the new 6 to 10 linemen that are about to say yes to Florida State. That's really the conversation as it pertains to recruiting that I want to have on a regular basis.
You know what? Screw the booster tour. Let's cancel the booster tour this offseason. Let's take those dollars and invest in Dante Lucas traveling the country in December to go talk to young linemen.
Extolling the virtues of Florida State and the offensive line to be.
Call it the Papal Tour.
Nicely done. I would say this, that is going to be unless they win the remaining games, save for Florida, which I don't think they can win, unless they do win these games, Wake, Syracuse, Miami, BC, Alabama State, it's going to be a tough booster tour. That's a tough one.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a toughie.
Yeah, if we see the writing on the wall here, I don't know how many boosters would show up even if you sweep those games. So why don't we use the money on the Pope to go recruit his friends? We need Pope and some Cardinals, Bishops. What you got? We need 5 of them.
Oh, we need a lot, don't we? We need linemen all over the map. I think it's hard when you go over here and you go to that 2020 commit list and you see defensive back, linebacker, good linebacker, running back, good. Quarterback, yep, I like Sims a lot. Linebacker, good, need those guys. Another running back, all right. Wide receiver and Malachi Wideman, who's a freak and also going to help with basketball.
Yeah, that catch is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It looks photoshopped.
I watched it 100 times, and I could watch it 100 more. Go look that up if you haven't already done so, children.
It's a front flip catch in the IPF.
Malachi Wideman making the most athletic play I have ever seen a human being make. It's dumb. It really is. What's going on? The athletes today are insane.
Yeah. I mean, in so many different places, you can see things like that.
It's
a football kid
nuts.
doing a front flip. You see the things that Zion does today.
Oh.
And it was Kevin Durant before him and Dirk. But then even think about, I know this is an obscure one, but think about NFL kickers.
How big they are?
60 yards doesn't matter anymore.
No, and by the way, that's funny you bring that up. I was talking about the modern football player, the modern athlete in general today, and listen, by athlete standards, I'm an old man now. I'm 48. I can't run and jump like I once did. And even then, I wasn't elite. But I was around elite athletes, and I saw them. And, the guys today, I just sit in awe of. I went to that Bears game after we lost to Notre Dame. So that following Sunday, the next day, my buddy Matt Britton and I went and we had field passes. So we went down on the field, and we were watching the Bears and the Lions warm up. And that's the game where homeboy hit the post 4 times in one game. I've never seen anything like it, or 3, or whatever it was.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, it was incredible. So, yeah. But we went to that game, and one thing's for sure. When you go to a game, a pro game or an elite Power 5 program game, but especially the pros, because they're taking the best kids off those elite Power 5 programs. So only the best of the best are moving on, right? Go down onto a field and watch the guys that are backups. Watch the guy. Go look at the punter. They're all massive. They're all guys that if they walked into a room, they carve out a space. I mean, they're big dudes. They, I was looking at the backup kicker. The backup quarterback. I was looking at the kicker. 6'3", 240. I mean, these guys are horses.
In general, and it's not necessarily about the size that they're linebackers or anything, one of my favorite things about warm-ups in football is just watching how far the kicker can kick it. Because then it might come down to it at the end. But, I mean...
Like how far can he kick it today with the wind and what he's got? And
rather than watching walkthroughs, which is just, the pointless stuff. You see the O-line going through their drills and the stupid pass-catching things against air. It's like the walkthrough stuff the media gets to see for practice.
Yeah, useless.
You watch the kickers, that's actually fun. Yeah. That's actually fun because, 55. Let's see if he got it.
Guy drove
he had it by 6 yards. My God.
Oh, yeah. Modern kickers anymore. If you take a good modern kicker and you put him indoors, and weather's not an issue, and you let him kick on the turf, that guy's, he's probably routinely busting it from 60.
Well, up in Detroit, Matt Prater's got a cannon of a leg.
It's unbelievable.
But last week, Maher, who's come under the gun because he can't make things inside 40 yards consistently for Dallas, hit one from 62 yards before the half was over.
Yeah.
And it was like nothing.
And nobody really even prattled on about that.
And that's in New Jersey. It's outdoors. Typically, growing up.
Cold,
if you ever saw 58, the 60s was never. But 58, you know where that was? It was either indoors or Denver.
Yeah.
Mile High Stadium.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Jason Elam.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Dude's kicking from 70 yards. Do you remember when the Raiders attempted a 70-yard field goal with Sebastian Janikowski in Denver?
Yeah, it came up 15 yards short.
Well, and he was also way off. But, it's just too far for a ball to travel with those conditions. But he was trying to kick a 70-yard field goal. I guarantee you he can. Sebastian Janikowski's standing around kicking, he could do it.
Well, what about the fair catch free kick thing on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, that was
with
awesome.
The Bucs? I guess. I didn't like that. You could take 4 false start penalties. If they made that kick, we wouldn't like it nearly as much.
No, that's true.
But how much was that good by? That's a 60-yarder, and he had that by 10 yards easy.
Yeah,
it's amazing. When you don't have a line in front of you, the way you could kick it like a kickoff, you could clear 75, 80 yards.
Those guys are unreal.
NFL coaches need to think about this fair catch free kick rule a little bit more.
It's a really cool thing, and you never see it. So when you do, you're like, oh, that's right. That's in the rules. You can do that. I was saying about recruiting real quick, and then I want us to have kind of a different conversation. But I'm going down the list. So when you read about a DB decommitting, and you see DB, when you're looking at class of 2020, you go, well, whatever. And then you see a quarterback, you see some running backs, you see linebackers important. That's very important because we have been sorry as all hell at linebacker basically post-2013. So when I see a Steven Dix, I go, all right, Steven Dix is on board. Let's not decommit, Steven. Going to need you to stick this one out. We need you, buddy. But what I don't get to see next to all these names, whether it's Ja'Kai Douglas or Jalen McCluster or Jeff Sims or Keyshawn Green, you know what I don't see next to their name? O.L. I don't see O.L. next to their name. No, I see athlete, DB, running back, wide receiver, DB, athlete. Stop that. I want to go, what are we doing? Why am I looking at this list and only seeing O-L, 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 O-L? That's what I want to do. I want to come in and have this conversation about how unreasonable it is that we're recruiting 25 offensive linemen.
The funny thing is that's kind of like the last, 5 Clemson games now? L-O-L, O-L, 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 O-L.
Boo.
Well, that's our experience on a game day these days.
On that note, it's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Questions. Game planning for Clemson versus Wake JCS. Primer, hey, Jeff. Email. Born and raised in Tallahassee as a diehard Knoll, JCS and Seminole headlines are the highlights of my week. Thank you for keeping me sane. Any chance that Coach Taggart knew that the Clemson game was a foregone conclusion and started scheming for Wake 2 weeks ago? Wouldn't have mattered either way, but perhaps we played more vanilla schemes against Clemson just to get through it in prep for Wake. There's more here. I'll get to that last part in a moment. Let's first answer that question. I was told he thought they could win.
I don't believe we play chess here.
That answers the question, William. Also, I have been listening to your show religiously. Hold on. Let me go back. I don't know that I want a coach who doesn't think we can win. So
I hear you. I don't think we play chess here, though. I'll stick with that.
Okay. Also, I have been listening to your show religiously the past few years, but I missed out on many of your past shows. Some of your regular colloquialisms, you can do it, Jeff. I didn't see that word coming. My brain wasn't prepared. Enunciate, Cameron. And inside jokes are hilarious, but I have no freaking idea what you guys are talking about half the time. Red Russians, Libations Friday, Lawn Maintenance Wednesday. That's Tuesday, buddy. It's Balls McWednesday.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again.
Platinum Bohica. Is there a JCS primer out there somewhere where those of us can clue in on the running themes throughout the years? Thank you in advance, William. Well, first of all, William, that was a nice email. Thanks for your questions. Appreciate it. It was awfully nice of you to say, and I appreciate that you've been listening for a long time. Libations Friday is exactly as it sounds. I mean, it's the end of the week. Usually most of us are ready to have a tall, cold one. So that's just what it is. Balls McWednesday, I can't even answer that question. That goes back, I think, to the first year. Well, I know. It goes back to the first year I was ever on the air. My producer was Dina Davis. And if she's out there listening, hello, Dina. We still stay in touch. She's doing great. But she was my producer, and I named all the days of the week, I think because I thought we could sell it, frankly. I thought it was a way to make money, and I was poor. And then we used to go through, I think it was during the Tiger Sharks. Somehow we would talk, I don't know, it was like I was talking about ball sports. I was saying, well, let's not talk about hockey this morning. Let's talk about ball sports. And it became Balls McWednesday. That's kind of, I don't really know. It's gotten lost in translation over the years.
As I understood it, yeah, it was something to do with you were reading off, I guess it was like October. And so there's a lot going on a given night. You know, a lot of balls in the air.
I was like, man, a lot of balls in the air. And then it just became a Balls Balls McWednesday. People thought I was saying like balsamic vinaigrette or something. Like they were like balls.
Balsamic.
Yeah, that's what they
balsamic.
thought. Yeah, that's what they thought. But it's Balls Mick, as in McDonald's, like McWednesday.
You know, if you do have a balsamic vinaigrette that you want to sell, it can become Balsamic Wednesday.
If you would like
for a
to
low,
sell
low
it,
price.
yeah, we can be bought. But I think I did because back in those days, you got to understand, Clear Channel, who hired me, did so with an illegal contract. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just so happy to be in the business and to be working on something that I thought at the time I could do and wanted to do, and it became a passion and later a career. But they just gave me the airtime. They said, listen, we don't have a morning host. Hollywood, man, the GM's name was Hollywood. I'm forever indebted to him, but he looks like the name implies. He was ridiculous. He was always dressed to the nines like a mobster, and he had a fake tan. I mean, it was almost like Trump. It was ridiculous. He was like orange. And then he had this absurd mustache. He looked like Magnum P.I., like Tom Selleck. So he was perfect. I mean, he was a character in a book. And Lee Bowen, who was doing play-by-play for Florida State baseball, was the market manager for 1270, the GM. And he hired me based on energy and based on, he thought I had talent, but he was like, you don't know what you're doing, so we'll try to groom you. And, and Hollywood said, well, we want a morning show, but we can't afford to pay you. And they said, if you sell your show, we'll put you on the air. So you got to sell your own show. You got to make your own money. We'll give you a percentage, and that'll be what you get paid. And I'm forever that's illegal, but I'm forever indebted, by the way, to a few people, Hollywood, Lee Bowen, to some extent, certainly Rick Ballou and Eric Llewellyn, who helped me out in the early stages. But I'm really thankful for my girlfriend at the time. She was teaching at FSU, getting her PhD, and so she was making a little bit of coin. Relative to me, she was making a lot of money. And so she said, Chase, we were living together. She said, chase your dreams. Go ahead. I think you can be good at that. I'll make the money. You go do what you got to do. And I've never forgotten it, and I'll be forever indebted. That's one of those things, one of those pivotal things that happen.
That's why you siphon off about 15% of every paycheck like a garnishment.
No, I don't think my wife would appreciate that. But no. So anyhow, as it works, all of that happened, and I was trying to create elements to sell, and I didn't know how to sell at all. And so, I mean, people called in. You guys know this. My old school listeners know this. You guys called in, and I was told by Lee Bowen I had to give the time out. Every 10 minutes. That morning traffic was the time you gave out. You had to give out the time.
No internet. Yeah.
People were rushing around. Didn't have cell phones, Tom. I mean, if they did, it was, these giant ones. And so they were like, it was a time when a lot of people didn't have them. Let's put it that way. So they needed to know the damn time, according to Lee Bowen. And I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was cliche and formulaic, and I hated it. And so early on...
Yeah, all you needed was the top of the hour. My dad would sync up his car clock if we were in the car for when the news fired at the top of the hour. That way he knew he was precisely... Because, in those days, car clocks, they didn't sync up with the satellites.
Right.
Sometimes they'd be off by a good 10 minutes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That could be a big deal.
It could be. But he kept preaching to me that I had to go and tell the time. So I said, well, I'm not going to do that. Which was the beginning of kind of my way of being in radio. I was just not going to do that. I'm like, we're not following the rules. It's stupid. So every caller that called in, I said, yeah, before you ask me a question, you have to give the time. And then that's when I would say, damn Skippy old school, and we'd move on. So they'd be like, it's two-time Bob. It's 6:18, Jeff. Damn Skippy. What's up, two-time? And we'd roll on. So... Balls McWednesday, lawn maintenance Tuesday. That's because I was living in an apartment complex that I just described, and every Tuesday morning they would be out there doing, yeah. And I was like, man, what is with every Tuesday
and they'll
morning?
be there. They'll be there for 12 hours.
Oh, buddy, they're there when the sun's coming up. They're not having it. It's time to get the day started. So that was lawn maintenance Tuesday. Redemption Thursday was because I like to gamble, and I like to gamble even back then, and I wanted a way to incorporate gambling. That's pretty straightforward. Libations Friday, straightforward. There is no name. Man Cave Monday was, again, a sellable item, and yes.
That's right. Added it to the fold. Probably when the signal came a little bit, more high quality.
Yeah. So that's what that was. So anyhow, that's all of those. Red Russians. That's why did we call it Red Russian? Well, because the drink. Yeah. Tom coined Red Russians. Tom gets the credit for Red Russians. Because I said that it was he named the drink Red Russians, and I said it would be warm vodka and soda, Coke,
room temperature Coke,
Coke,
no ice cubes,
and vodka. Right. It's absurd. It's an absurd drink that nobody would ever have. That's a Red Russian. And then Tom called it a Red Russian, and so he gets credit for that. And then we just at that point we thought it was great just to have this Russian gambler who took chances and celebrated hockey.
And now that gambling has bled into all forms of gambling. In terms of the Red Russians, you can wager on just about anything. Yeah. A Red Russian wager on this side of the glass on Monday was Lions plus 3.5.
Yeah, it was executed properly and victorious.
At some
Red
point,
Russians all the way around.
At some point, one of our listener events or the live show we do on Fridays before home games, we're going to have Red Russians on special. If you're brave enough to try it, they'll have Red Russians on special.
I don't know that I can drink that. I hate vodka, and I don't drink soda. I don't drink soda. I mean, I don't like soda, and I don't drink soda, and I hate vodka. How am I?
It's you for the listeners,
I'll hold one. I've never gotten the vodka thing. I don't like it. Ugh.
At all?
I mean, you could do vodka and cranberry or something like that. It's all right.
Delicious.
But that's because you're drinking cranberry juice. Cranberry juice is delicious. It's not the vodka. It's the cranberry juice.
It's a player, though. Vodka.
Yeah.
Vodka greases the wheel.
I'd rather have tequila.
Well, tequila's delicious.
I like tequila.
But a lot of that is the sour mix, and
Oh, if you're having a margarita, but I like straight tequila.
You drink straight tequila?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not on the regular. I mean, you get kind of loose if you're drinking straight tequila, but a shot of tequila is delicious.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Or a sipping, like a really high-end tequila. I'll sip on a high-end tequila. Yeah, straight. We're not diluting our tequila around here, Tom. That's not what you do.
Straight tequila guy.
If it's good. No, you can't. Not with crappy tequila now.
Oh, well, there's nothing worse.
Yeah,
I don't know that there's anything worse than crappy tequila.
Oh.
Like, of all of the things you can choose from. Even gin. Like,
I like gin, too.
But bad tequila, it'll sink right to the bottom of your stomach. And it feels like you drank mercury.
Yeah, and I've got horror stories with tequila, and yet it always calls me back. And I'm not talking about, like, getting out of control, but that soap shot I did up in Chicago, I'm still scarred by it. At the fire people bought me. I can't do that. It still bothersome. Bartender gave me a warm glass that still had soap residue in it, and we did shots, and oh my God, I had to run out the building.
I think it'll be next Friday, 7 years earlier. Old show contributor Chris put a shot of mine in the microwave, and Oh, no, I did that to him as retaliation. Excuse me.
Oh.
We were at Bullwinkle's.
I was going to say, what are we doing?
No, man.
It's a long time ago.
10th anniversary, 11th anniversary of that shot. And he told the bartender, make it as disgusting as you can, make it hurt. And he didn't tell me. And he's like, here you go, buddy. Whoop, down the hatch. I ran to the nearest trash can, but I was okay.
Yeah,
nothing happened.
You had to breathe.
But
it's almost instantaneous.
It was panic time. I was like, I'm not about to projectile.
No.
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life.
The question from William featured the comments about game planning and so forth. No, we couldn't block William, so it looked like a vanilla game plan, but we couldn't execute what we wanted to run, and the quarterbacks also didn't play well. So there were plays left on the field in addition to not being able to block.
And I don't think this is a bad question because I, too, am searching for reasons that we look that poor. Like, beyond the fact that we can't compete at certain positions, I look for reasons, too, where I say, my God, what the hell is wrong with us? I mean, I heard Ira yesterday say on headlines they weren't prepared. I'm like, if that's true.
Well, that's his assertion. I know he says the results suggest to him. He came to the conclusion that they didn't look prepared. I don't know that I agree with that.
That's a hell of an assertion.
Well, it's a hell of an assertion. It's right, but I don't know that I agree with that.
That they didn't know what they were in for?
I don't know that I agree with that. I just think they got overwhelmed really early, and they weren't armed or equipped, is a better way of saying it, to do anything about it. I just think sometimes when you watch a group, this is what's hard to accept, and it's why people are still, asking these kinds of questions. It's hard to accept that we're not in the same stratosphere as Clemson. It's just hard to imagine how we got here. How did it happen so fast? How is it that we're not even able to compete? Like, can't even compete. But the truth is, if you get dominated at the line of scrimmage, and both lines of scrimmage got dominated, by the way. That's the disappointing part of the game. The defensive line got blown up, too. They can't compete at the line of scrimmage against good teams. And then you can't win.
But you know what? Are we 100 points worse than Clemson? Because that's what Saturday showed.
I think so.
We're 100 points worse than Clemson.
I think so. They have the best quarterback in the country when he's playing well. They have the best defense in the country and arguably the best defensive coordinator in the country. So you have real good players being put in real good spots and positions to succeed. They play with great intensity, partly because they follow his lead. They've got one of the three best receiving cores in the country. I don't know, Tom. I mean, ATN, I think, is as good, if not better, than Cam, probably better.
So we don't have enough players to keep them down to like 80. If they really tried, because they called off the Dogs mid-third quarter, and they could have scored a couple more in the first half.
Yeah, no, I think if they had left their starters in the game and played as if the score was always 0-0 and they were on their first drive and they were trying to execute, I think they could have scored 80.
So there's nothing we could have done about it?
I don't think so.
Even if we had better coaching?
Well, no, that's maybe true.
The one thing
you know what I think about Harlan Barnett, so I can't sit here and tell you that it couldn't be better if we had a different coordinator. Now, they still would have gotten beat down, but yes, I don't.
But 42 to 13 is a beat down. You know, that's a beat down in its own right.
Well, it was 45-14, wasn't it? Wasn't the final?
Right, but I mean like a legitimate one. Where 42 is the best they could have done. And,
right, yeah. Listen, I just think we're that far away, and that's what people are unable to accept. And it's hard to say, it's hard to talk about. I don't like it, But I take solace in the fact, and I brought this up yesterday too when Ira said that, and whether you think, and listen, he may be right, I may be wrong. You guys who think that they weren't prepared, you might be right. I'm not saying, that's we don't know that. We don't know that. I think sometimes a bad play is a bad play. Sometimes you just get whipped. When I watch somebody look foolish in a moment, I don't instantly fall back on, well, he wasn't prepared. I think he's overwhelmed. And they started rat trapping a little bit. I just think they got overwhelmed.
Their first drive were 2 trick plays. Or gadgety plays.
Mm-hmm.
You got the halfback toss pass, and then you got the shovel pass on 4th and goal, that's a neat call.
It's a good call.
You really need to break that out against us would be my retort. Really? You want to break out the tricks on us? We're supposed to be doing that to you fellas. You're supposed to be running right at us.
Yeah, but I think they'll have something for everybody they play. They're well coached. They're well put together. They really operate well as entire units, both offensively and defensively. So.
I just have a hard time thinking that, we get to Monday at Clemson week and Willie calls the coaches in and says, let's go vanilla this week. We got no chance,
I don't think that happened. I don't think that happened at all. I just don't think they could execute, and I think that they got overwhelmed pretty early. But they never stopped fighting, and I'm not real certain that they weren't prepared. I just don't think you can. It doesn't matter. I've said this over and over. It doesn't matter what you call in those games that you don't have the players.
But on the other hand, if you do have alignment issues and pre-snap you look like a travesty on 3 or 4 separate drives offensively. And you've got to play one of the plays early on, which is Hornibrook's first drive. You've got a screen pass to the receivers, and all 3 of them release into blocks, and Hornibrook's got nowhere to throw. That's why he scrambles up the middle, because you have 3 dudes. You weren't the most prepared you could have been. I think that's fair to say. If you're not aligning right and you've got communication issues on offense, when it's all a hand signal offense anyway.
The defense, going back to your point about the defense doesn't look as prepared as they should. They make the kinds of mistakes that we're talking about right now, week in and week out. Sometimes they make less of them against lesser teams. It really shows up when they're playing good teams, because any misstep or any misalignment or any mistake is exploited in a way that obviously, say, Virginia or Louisville or NC State or Boise couldn't exploit it. Clemson will, and all the good teams will. Ohio State would have blown us out in that same fashion. Alabama would have. Most of the upper echelon teams. God forbid what we would do against Oklahoma. They could score 105 points. But so that concerns you. We're just not close, and I think these things, I don't believe that we have the right defensive coordinator. I think they should hire Levitt in the offseason. If they can do that, they should. They're probably trying to save money right now, so they can't fire Harlan, but I would fire him. I'd have fired him yesterday.
If it were me, the head guy's coaching for his job these next 5-6 games.
Well, they're not going to fire him at the end of this year, Tom.
They're not, but if it were me, because, you've got to run off some wins, at least 4 of them in the next 5, right? Jesus, what are we doing here? If you go 3-2 in this stretch, nah, man.
But you're in a quandary. This is the same thing I said before. Is that okay? Fine. I'm willing to have the conversation with you, even on a relative short notice, about the coach. But who are you hiring? His agent is Jimmy Sexton, the super agent to every coach in college football that you would desire to have. And secondly, no coach is coming here under the current set of circumstances with an outgoing president, thus an outgoing AD. You're really in a bind. And there would be financial ramifications that could be devastating to making that move. So even if you could justify it, and I'm not saying you couldn't, if they play poorly over these next several games, you could make a good case to fire him.
I'm not rooting for it. I want that to be clear.
No, nobody is. We want them to succeed. We want the team to win, and we want to create some momentum over these next several weeks. I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, short of an epic collapse where a major donor has seen enough and is going to come to your rescue and is willing, think about what you're asking the big money people to do. You're asking, donor A, whoever the richest one is, right? Dunlap's dead, so we can't go get any more money out of him. DeVoe Moore, whoever you want to say, right? You're going to ask him to write a check for somebody to leave. That's a tough check to write, man.
Well, first you come to a settlement I think you can usually cut a deal there to at least
Yeah.
reduce the buyout a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, people like writing checks to get something they want.
Right.
Not for people to go away.
No, I understand, but what the argument you're going to have to make, both as an athletic department and as the booster community,
Are we
is,
going to continue to lose?
are we setting
more?
ourselves back long term? Like, is it better for us to cut bait right now?
Sure.
And I think the athletic director said as much in the offseason when he made clear statements that the mess that was last year is really not on Willie as much as people want to believe it is. But if we don't sell tickets, this whole matter is moot.
It does become a moot point.
So
That's
if
correct.
you go 7-5 because you're messing around in these games and you lose to Syracuse or you lose to Boston, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're in the mix, and then you end up you're what would it be 7-4 going into the Florida game.
So you're gonna lose that game.
So you're gonna be 7-5. People really signing up for season tickets even though the schedule's better next year? I mean, really? That's the problem you're facing. But if you can prove that you're at least better than the NC State, Louisville's,
Which you already
Syracuse's,
have.
Boston College, Wake Forest, that you are at least in whatever the B flight is, which is god awful against
What's the rest
Power
of the
5 curve.
It's the rest of the conference.
But if you're in the B flight of the ACC, right? Okay, that's something you can hang your hat on for a year. It's not where you want to hang your hat. You want
Right.
to move it up the rungs.
Well, it might help you in recruiting, certainly, and
Sure.
that does change the game. So, yeah.
But I think this is a critical. I mean,
I don't disagree with that. I think he's got to win if you're just talking about season tickets. Yes, he's got to win if you're talking about recruiting and season tickets. These are very important games.
but that's not my standard. I believe that's the athletic director's standard in the preseason, which says that's going to determine what I do. Is where fan interest is in the realm of season ticket sales. And I got to tell you, if you look middling in this stretch before you face Florida, I don't know that their season ticket sales are going to be any better than they were for this past season. People are just going to buy single gamers to the ones they want to go to.
Well, they're already starting to do that anyhow, even in places where they are winning. It's becoming an issue in college football. I don't know, Tom. I think they're in real trouble in terms of season tickets, regardless of what happens. They could win all these games, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of people lining up because I don't believe there's a lot of faith right now in where FSU's at as an athletic department, as a football program, sorry. As an athletic department, they're really good. Basketball team's really good. Baseball team's good every year. Softball team's great. Soccer team's national champions all the time. You're loaded there. Track's good year in and year out. Hell, the tennis team's good. You got a lot of, as an athletic department, they're really rolling. Women's basketball team's good every year.
Don't forget about Trey.
Trey Jones does a great job with the golf program. I'll see you tonight, Trey, for the PGA Tour Network show we do. But
You think I'm overstating it and oversimplifying it there? All I'm going by is the standard the AD said, not my own.
No, here's what I think, and then we're gonna go because we've blown past the out, and that's on me. I think Florida State's in a very unique situation. I think they can't afford to fire the coach, even if there was enough evidence to do so. I think they're in a holding pattern because financially they're trying to become, solvent. They're trying to do the right thing here because they were so far over budget. The previous athletic director did not do a good job holding people's feet to the fire, but in fairness to him, was not in a position to tell Jimbo no. So it got away from Florida State, and they overspent, and now the note's due. And so they're having to wear this, and they're trying to make the best of a terrible situation. Willie inherited a nightmare. He hasn't done a good job with said nightmare, so it has sustained longer than we would like. You can't flip offensive lines overnight. They're probably going to be average at best next year. They're waiting, I think, until the president calls it a day, now that Florida State's a top 25 institution academically and publicly, and they'll leave. He'll leave. And whoever the new president is will come in, and he'll assess that situation. He'll probably replace the AD. I think that there's no doubt about that. Coburn is just an acting AD, but not really the long-term solution. Not that he couldn't do the job necessarily. It's just I don't think he wants to. So
typically, a new owner to a pro franchise brings his own general manager.
And wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? I mean, I want to hire my people, right?
Or her own.
Yeah. So whoever the next president is has got big decisions. They'll likely want to make changes. They'll come in and they'll want to change the head coach. They'll bring in their people there, athletic director, and then Florida State will loosen the purse string sums because they will have gotten more responsible, and they'll try to tap into some momentum there and flip things. I think that Willie's in an unfortunate situation unless he shocks us by really turning this thing around and get them winning in a big way and recruiting spikes and they go into next season and have a great year, because he can do something about it. But as he sits right now, I think he's, in a weird way, just in a holding pattern. I think he's just a placeholder.
Well, the greatest thing that I could say, great is probably too strong of a word, but you get my point. The best thing I can say about the football program this year, they don't quit, and they're going to have a chance in every one of these games if they're invested. They're going to have a chance, and they should be the favorite in most of the games.
Yeah, it starts against Wake, and if you beat Wake, you should come home and beat Syracuse. Then you got a huge game against Miami. Yep. You can create real momentum here, and we're rooting for that. And I'm rooting for Willie because I think he loves the program. I think he loves the kids. I think he would be great in recruiting if he can create a buzz. So it's all out there still on the table. He can do something about it. But if you're just asking me what I see long-term where we're at, that's kind of how I see it. I think we're in a tough spot here. I think they're waiting, biding time. And that's not fun because that feels like being in limbo.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's because if you're capable of blowing an 18-point lead at home to Boise, or you're capable of finishing the way you did against Virginia on the road, the offensive line is capable of looking like it did against NC State for that first half, then none of these games are a shoo-in.
No, they're all
especially if you're not bought in. But I've been the one consistently saying I think this team is different in that regard. But you do kind of have to rack up the results.
You got to win games.
Some point.
Got to win games.
I mean, didn't we say before the season started, if you go 7-5 with this schedule, screw you? I believe we did.
Well, and listen. I'm not happy. I mean, they're 3-3. What are they? 3-3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're well on pace to do nothing. Do nothing that's going to impress me. You know, you were clicky pins before the year. We'll be clicky pins again this offseason. That's where we're headed. Now, let's see if they get on a roll. Now, offensive line is not going to get appreciably better in these remaining games. So
maybe Cole can give you 30 snaps this game.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get better, but maybe, not appreciably better. We won't be like, oh, they're not getting back,
They'll be better because they're not facing Clemson's front. That's true.
Yeah.
Because they'll appear better.
Oof. Yeah, we were in games in which we're not facing Clemson's front, we find ways to scheme around these deficiencies, and that is a step forward from a year ago. Wrap it up momentarily. Hang in.
It's raining.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
So I wonder, Big Daddy should get a bit of a reward financially, although this was not something I don't think that I looked up that you could bet. But the day that Joe Madden was fired by the Cubs, I said he'll be the next manager of the Angels. And he was announced today as the manager of the Angels.
Hot damn. Big Daddy's done it again.
Well, he and that owner go back. And, of course, he was the bench coach in Anaheim. And makes a lot of sense to hire him, and they have. But I wish I could have benefited financially from that. But I couldn't. That's just and tonight we don't have a game. Jerry's Cigars, I don't know what I'm going to do. Big Daddy J can't find a game. We've been rained out. Houston and New York, rained out. I'll have to revel, as I did last night, in the demise of the St. Louis Cardinals, who found themselves not only ousted, but swept in a non-competitive series. They didn't belong on the same field as the Washington Nationals.
The sharps who watch baseball said if the Nats get by in the wild card, look the bleep out.
Oh, well, and think about this if you're a Nationals fan, or if you're a guy who, chose to put a little coin on the Nationals to represent the National League in the World Series. At one point, they're 19-31. You could have invested at that time, and you would be celebrating in a way right now that I'd like to be by your side. B, I would note this. They were down 3-1 in the 8th with Milwaukee going to Hader. This was over. And then you rallied to beat Milwaukee. You're also down against the Dodgers in the 8th. I believe also 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. And you rallied to beat the Dodgers after an epic collapse and decision by their manager who just decided to throw away all sense of reason and cost them the series.
Bring the heat, Clayton. Go ahead.
Go get him.
Get back out there.
Throw that 87
Throw the cheese
right down the middle, baby. I don't think Soto can get around on it. So anyhow, you have that, and they win. In both those sets of circumstances, they win. But the second they did, I thought, well, this is a problem, whether it was going to be the Braves or the Cardinals, because that pitching staff sets up nicely. And whether it's the Yankees or the Astros, that's going to be a good series. The Nationals are good.
Yep.
Their roster is good.
Yes.
And today, Bryce Harper, is it his birthday?
Is it?
Either that or was the day before, whatever it was. He gets to sit back and watch the Nationals celebrate their way into the World Series. Woo.
They wouldn't have with him.
That will hurt your damn feelings.
They wouldn't have, because they wouldn't have been able to parlay those dollars. And remember the graphic? I think it was last night they showed all the contracts they were able to secure for that kind of money.
Yeah, it worked out for them. It was a good move.
It's at least a somewhat logical argument if you're not Mike Trout in baseball, the way the money is structured and the way that, if you're the best player in the lineup, you only get 4 cracks at it. You only get 27 cracks at it.
Well, they can minimize you. Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely right. Also, we never really should doubt this, but great pitching neutralizes your great hitters almost every time. And see the Yankees, this lineup, right?
Yeah.
They had their chances last night against Cole. They had their chances, but that guy right now is on an all-time run. What's the number, Matthew probably knows it. I think he's 19-1 in his last 24 starts.
It sounds right. You might be shortchanging him.
No, I'm not. He's 19. I'm a little bitter about this. He's 19-1 in his last 24 starts with an ERA, I think, under 1.5.
I just like how
it's unbelievable.
The Yankees almost got another cheapie last night. The 2 out to right field.
Oh, yeah.
And it ends up about 2 feet shy.
They all
of the
thought
ball.
that ball was gone.
They all did, and Mayer was not there to help
him out. Nope. Couldn't help him. But anyhow, that's a run for the ages. I mean, if we're looking at something here that maybe is glossed over for whatever reason, you really got to take the time to think about what Garrett Cole has done.
Did Kerwin Danley leave his equipment at the hotel? I don't understand. How does that delay take 20 minutes? It's a chest protector.
Yeah, you need one, but yeah.
From the very beginning, Buck and Smoltz say, well, they all bring their own gear for all these things, and it's a lot of gear you got to put. It's a chest protector and some thigh pads at most.
They're biding time.
If it's over 5 minutes, give them the old school American League shield.
Oh, those were the best.
Yeah.
Those gigantic shields.
You could have put a logo on that.
That thing was
could have sold it.
That thing was fantastic. So here's what I'll do for you, Jerry Cigars. As much as we love you, we can't just ignore that the game got washed out. Doesn't mean we can't participate. Tonight's slate in the NHL, Tom Wayne. You've been on fire, I think, right? No. Have you been off?
I've been a little off.
You've been a little off? I was on fire with the overs, and then there was 66 shots and 3 posts or something like that, or 6 posts hit the other night with Chicago. I should have had the over. Real quick, Los Angeles playing tonight? Nope. Ugh.
So I believe I'm due congratulations. I watched my first full start-to-finish Tampa Bay Lightning game last night.
And they won.
And they did.
They won.
A little bit better effort. Not great. A little bit better.
I don't have a wager. Big Daddy doesn't have one. But go to Jerry's Cigars and get you a good old cigar and a cold beer.
3 ways to find them. Physically, 2810 Share Road, 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Virtually, jerrycigarshop.com.
Well played, sir. Front Row Knowles. Great show. It's coming up next, right?
It is. I'll leave the hockey music running.
Yeah. All right. Front Row Knowles coming up next. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.